Join the incredibly talented guest designer Alison Tarry in her very first wire sculpture DVD. In this edition, you will learn all the skills needed to create fabulous scrollwork designs, including a decorative bell, wire booties and an ornamental box. To get your hands on a copy, contact our call centre. Get creative with Jewellery Maker.
When shopping with Jewellery Maker, you can add as many items to your order in one day and only pay one postage and packaging charge. We have two delivery options. Standard delivery at just £2.95 and you'll receive your parcel within 4 to 6 days. Or opt for our premium delivery at just £4.95 and you'll receive your parcel within 3 to 4 days. Happy shopping with Jewellery Maker.
Hello everybody, welcome to Designer Inspiration. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. My name is Rebecca Redican and guess who I'm joined by?
Hello.
It's Debbie Kershaw.
Good afternoon.
How are you, love?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, not bad.
Good, good. You've got something very special for us today, haven't you?
We've got a bit of stamping, a bit of hammering.
I cannot wait to see how you've created these stunning, stunning pieces. Quite a variety in here, actually.
Yeah, I think because I haven't actually done a designer inspiration on stamping before, we've done sort of little bits in the day show. It's quite nice to see what else you can do with the metal stamps. You don't have to stamp on all of them. You can put the metal together and make sort of different components and patterns. So we're going to work a little bit with that today.
I cannot wait to see that. I really can't. I need to let you know something today. We have got brand new left, right and centre. I mean brand new goodies galore for you today. Honestly, we have all been getting really up close and personal with the new stamps, blanks with just new goodies galore. And genuinely, some of the price points we're going to today, when we told you the price of the new stamps that we've got, genuinely, it's just ridiculous, basically. Honestly.
You can afford to get the different, letters, the uppercase and the lowercase, and they're presented in a really good way as well, and a really user-friendly way. So that's what I like about those. So that's quite exciting. I didn't even know we were having those, so that was a nice surprise when I got here.
I've got new hole punches as well today, and I have some of your favourites back in stock. Some gems, and also one of your favourite tools. It's our wire whacker. This tool is fantastic. It will work harden your designs without the hassle or the fuss that you can sometimes get with just hammering them straight on. You're not going to be getting all of the colour coming off. You're not going to get the awkward indentations. You're going to have easy to handle, simple to use, professional tool that will not disrupt your designs. We've got a bit of a VT about this. Show you exactly what I mean.
This is the wire whacker tool. It's essentially two pieces of perspex which you put together with your piece of wire in between and whack it. You can either just use your hand, push really hard down or hit it, or you can hit it with a hammer. This essentially work hardens your piece of wire and gives it a bit more rigidity for your jewellery.
Have you ever had that awful moment where you've created a beautiful link or a beautiful section to a chain and you've gone to hammer it and you slightly catch it wrong and one bit goes thicker than the rest of it, and it totally distorts the shape. It changes it completely.
It does change it. And the good thing about this, and I was watching that, I haven't used this myself yet, but what I would think is, you know when you cross over your wires,
exactly what I was going to say,
and you wouldn't use your hammer, it looks like that with this it'll work hardened, but it won't actually distort that sort of crossover part. So that's really good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's wonderful. Because if you are new to jewellery making and perhaps you've only worked with wire a little bit and hammering before, I'm sure already you'll know that if a wire is at a crossroads or a junction with another piece of wire, you are told time and time again, do not hammer onto that. Do not hammer onto it, because it can snap. It will weaken it. You, especially for clasps, because you have to cross over on clasps quite a lot and hammer those. You don't want a clasp that's breaking at a weak point. With this, you do not have that issue at all. This is your wire whacker, and boy, oh boy, do people love this. One of the most popular tools that we do, and the price is probably one of the reasons. £5.95 for you. I've already got loads of you purchasing this today. This is a stunning, stunning tool. We have got a hammer coming up for you a little bit later on, but one thing that you can actually do with this, you can just do it with your hand as well.
Yeah, you don't have to use the hammer, so that's really good, because depending on what design you do, but if you are doing intricate designs but you still want that work hardening, this looks brilliant for that.
I've got some FIFO reviews on this as well. Can't wait to get whacking. Good, I'm glad. This is another really important thing to say about this as well. Hammering 925 sterling silver, you have got to be careful, haven't you? You've got to know exactly what you're doing if you're going to just be hammering straight out, don't you? Because it's an expensive luxury product. 95, or if you've got gold in your stash. With this, you're not going to have the issues that you've had before. There is a queue on the phone lines. Do not worry. I promise we will be with you if you stay where you are. 0800 655. No, it's not. 0800 644 655. That is the number that you need to call. Stay where you are. I'll be honest with you. Already I've got a lot gone. I've got 150 at the moment. The numbers that are going down, that goes to show how many we have left at this point in time. These are as we're processing calls and as people are checking out their baskets. There's approximately just over a minute's wait on the phone lines. I promise you it's worth it to get in sooner rather than later, because I can see what you can't see. I can see people with it sat in their baskets waiting to check out. I can see the amount of people who are waiting on the phone lines. I can see the multi-buyers who are purchasing this item. You really do need to get in quicker, sooner rather than later, because as soon as you're put into the phone lines on 0800 644 655, you're popped into a queue. So if you call in quicker, you'll be nearer to the front of the queue. So get yourself in now, because I've only got 103 of these left. Gives a lovely texture to polymer too.
Oh, does it? That's a good idea. Ooh. Very good idea.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, because it's something, because I presume when you put it in, it takes on the very slight texture of the board itself. I do like the idea of just watching that little VT of actually putting your component in and your hammer going on top of, rather than actually coming in contact with your piece. You're work hardening, aren't you? But you're not actually touching it with your hammer. So if you're not confident, you have got a bit of precious metal or piece that you've taken ages over and that you're worried to hammer, that takes that kind of worry out of it, doesn't it?
Definitely, it 100% takes the worry out. And actually, another good thing about this is you can see how large that is. Of course, on the VT, they're only putting in a very small, beautiful, intricate piece of wire work. But if you are making something like a chain, you could put a few in at once, couldn't you? Make them up, put a few in. If you watched yesterday, the dog show with myself and a wonderful Alison Tarry, you'll know that she works with the scrolls, didn't she? You could actually put a few of the scrolls in this at once and then go wild. Good. Make them up step by step, and then you know you've got quite a few done. Yeah, that is good, because then it's time efficient. And if you're making to sell, then you don't want to be, using your time. You pay yourself your time, don't you? So you don't want to be. I like that idea. I like making things up beforehand and then doing it all together. So quite often you can't do that if you're using smaller tools. So that is a good point. Definitely. Yeah. I started off with way over 150 of these, and now I'm only down to 83. At this price point, £5.95, to give yourself the opportunity to essentially work with a tool that you can have faith in, you can have confidence in, a tool that you know once you've created a piece, because there is that daunting moment. I know I told you about this last week. I made a beautiful piece with some writing on, a nice bangle, and then went to work hard on it, and I just clipped it slightly wrong, and then it's marked it. And it's so disheartening, isn't it? Because your eye's always drawn to that bit then.
And well, you know it's there, don't you? Yeah. And then you change your tack maybe and think, oh, I'm going to texture all of it, when maybe you didn't want to texture it, you wanted to work hard on it. You wanted to work hard on it, absolutely. Yeah.
This is taking the stress out of that massively. 79 is all I've got left though, and I've got about 30. If you with it in the baskets, there's still a queue on the phone. Do not worry, we've got the opportunity for you all on the phone at the moment to get your hands on it. Checking out your baskets as quick as you can. Debbie, I'm going back to you about half 1, if that's all right, love.
Okie dokie, I shall get ready.
Okie pokely. Have you seen the goodies that I have got today? Honestly, I have got one of the most beautiful strands of zircon. I've got, now I'm going to say this word and people's ears are going to go bing, but I've only got 12, so please remember this. I've got amber. 12 opportunities, that's coming up for you soon, and that's going to be under £20 today. I've got another one. This is one of my favourites. I absolutely adore this. The sticky bead mat's back as well. This is so useful. I adore. This is going to be coming up for you today. I have got your last opportunity as well to get your hands on some antique bronze blanks for the stamping too. And I'm just going to flash in one of these, you know. I'm going to. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. We should really have some sort of music in the background for this. Da, 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 da. Brand new. Not just one, not even just two. You've got loads of those coming up. Oh my gosh, new fonts, new packaging, new price point as well. We're not forgetting about Debbie, of course. She's with us all afternoon. You've seen the pieces that she's going to be showing us how to create step by step. But we're also going to be giving her a little challenge. It's a bit of a special challenge as well, to be honest. It is a challenge with, at the moment, one of the most, in fact, always one of the most expensive, exclusive, ageless organics over the world. Not just one strand of them, two. And I've also got, oh my goodness, one of the biggest punch of colours, highly faceted, femme fatale strands of this gorgeous multi-coloured agate. 280 carats worth of this beautiful gem. Look at the banding in this. Doesn't it look like a modern piece of art? Another thing I adore about it is the graduation on this strand. It is exceptional. In the middle, you've got the 16mm, and then look, right at the end, you've got the 6mm. That graduation means that you have got the versatility in this strand. You can go from delicate pieces, say a pair of earrings, to really striking rings and pendants. You're still working with the same gemstone in the same colour palette. So this, if you want to make suites of jewellery, is the one for you to get your hands on today. 280 carats worth of this. You're also going to be getting 2 strands of genuine pearls in a colour palette, to me, unrivaled femininity. You've got this beautiful luster from these beautiful pink potato pearls. They say pink. To me, it's kind of a pink champagne tone, isn't it? When you think of this colour, it's almost got a dusky feel to it. It's not over the top, it's not too bright, too much. It's just a delicate kiss of colour to these beautiful champagne rosé coloured pearls. 8x7 on these. And then you've got these enormous 11x10mm pearls. Now look at this. And I'm moving these around, you can see that. they look to the eye like rounds, don't they? And that's because there's only 1 mil in it. Now there's only 1 mil in, of course, your potato pearls here, but because the size of them is smaller, it's a bit more dramatic, it's a bit more obvious to the eye. These ones though, 11 by 10 mil. They look stunning, don't they? They've got the name of lavender, and I do see that in a sense. It's definitely got lavender undertones, but for me, I think no matter what you highlight between, you'll be able to see that colour impact that you wish to find yourselves. Now, the lavender 10 by 11 mil pearls, you can see that they are stunning. They do almost look like perfect rounds. They're not, they are 11 by 10, but to the eye, they look it. They take around 11 years for Mother Nature to create every individual pearl on this strand. Because of the size and because of the quality of these, your price point for this strand alone is £19.95. So already we know that we need to head our mind up to the price point above and beyond, because the pearls of this size, that one strand, £19.95 by itself. So what are we thinking for the others? These ones still stunning, but obviously they are a little bit smaller, so possibly, what are we thinking? Around the £8 mark, £8.95, maybe £10.95 for these. £9.95, £10.95 for these ones. And then what about this agate? 280 carats worth, graduation, faceting, beautiful colourway. You've got to be heading your mind up there, because your price on this today should be £31.85. That's if you purchased all 3 of these individually. That's including the fact that one of these strands has had a price drop on it recently. So actually, you should realistically, if you'd have bought these a month or so ago, you would have been paying more like £35.95. Today though, just remember for me, £19.95 on that massive strand of stunning pearls, £19.95. £21.95 for you today. That means you're purchasing the 10 by 11 mil. You're getting a 200 carat strand of agate for £1. You're getting a strand of genuine, beautiful champagne rosé pink pearls for £1. You buy this strand, you get each of these strands for just £1 each. Debbie K, what do you think of that price?
I think that's brilliant, because when I saw that just now, and I thought I would have put that together myself, but quite often you have to buy them separately, don't you? So you might see a strand on a show and buy it, and then you see another strand. But when you get it all together and it's put together like this, it kind of, the work's done for you, you know, because when the colours go so beautifully, and you've got classic combinations there that everybody likes. I don't think I'm going to have to think too hard about what to do with those, to be honest.
No, well, it is your challenge, and that means that we're going to be heading over to the wonderful Debbie K at approximately 4:45 to have a little look at what she's created with these. Have you got any ideas springing to mind at the moment?
No, I think I need to clip them off and get them all together on the bead board, but I like the contrast of the quite funky pinks with the classic pearls. I think you can do some quite striking designs with those, so I kind of see what comes into my head when I get them all, you know, off the strands.
Yeah,
and together.
Look at them.
Yeah.
I've got a strand of a gemstone which I personally have never managed to get my mitts on before until today. I've got some Angelite coming up for you in a little bit. How beautifully would this go? That will go superbly, wouldn't it? £21.95. When do you ever buy pearls for £1? There is a tiny bit of a queue on the phone lines, but we will be with you. This is, for a challenge, an absolutely exceptional deal. Not only do you get 2 strands of pearls, which I tell you time and time again, they have gone up in price. It's not they're going to go up in price, they have now, it's official. They have gone up in price. When we purchase them, when you get them on the market, when you, you know, buy these in any location, they have gone up in price massively because yields have gone down, but also popularity has gone up with this too. The price is increasing, it has increased, but thankfully we bought these before that price increase, which means that we're still able to offer you a serious deal on these. We pass the deals on to you. That's what we've done with this. In 6 months time, when we're buying these again and they're at the price point that we know they are now, which is just around 40% higher price markup than when we bought these, we're going to have to charge you that extra 40%. That's the way it is. If we're buying them for a 40% price hike, we're going to have to pass that on. Thankfully, we got these before that price raise, so you are getting that opportunity to own luxury for less. Debbie, would you like these, my love?
Love them.
Have a little look, have a little feel.
Thank you.
No problem. Do you love them together? Now they're in your hand.
They're beautiful together. You can always tell when something's going to be easy if you take all 3 and twist them, and that would work. Absolutely gorgeous. So, yeah, I'll enjoy making those. Thank you very much.
Good. Zircon is my second favourite gemstone. Opal's my favourite. Zircon is so close behind, and this is going to sound totally naff, and I know it is, but this is the most stunning strand of zircon I have ever in my life seen. So much so that I've actually seen opal that I like less than this strand. Honest, oh my goodness, I can't believe, okay. Focus, Bex, you're working. Okay, Zircon. It is an exceptional gemstone. It is literally shapes our world. It is the oldest gemstone known to man. There are so many points about this gemstone that I'm going to go through with you today, because genuinely I think you really need to know a lot about this just to get it into your mind. I'm going to show you it first off. I need you to have in your mind zircon, and you know I always say do the checklist in your head. Zircon is a doubly refractive gemstone, which essentially means that when the light enters, it's dispelled into 2 different directions, which makes it have more fire and more brilliance than even the best, like your diamonds, because it's doubly refractive. Now you can only see that doubly refractive nature when you've got clarity to zircon. That doesn't happen that often. It is a very rare and beautiful gemstone. The fact of the matter is, this hands down is the clearest zircon I personally have ever brought to you before. That means you're going to be able to see that double refractive light, fire, brilliance that we all want to see, and we can only see in the highest quality. When I looked at the picture that was on the website, I thought that is pretty, but to the eye you're going to be amazed. Take a look. Oh my goodness. Let's get this straight. To me, that even has that diamond-like appearance, doesn't it? It does. It really does. Doubly refractive. You can see the light working on this. Oh my goodness. I am head over heels. Zircon is something that I think we really need to get involved with a little bit more. Personally, I don't think we see it enough on this channel, nowhere near this quality either. One of the reasons I believe we need to really get this out and get this into more designs is because people know about it now. People have heard about this gemstone now. It's been on CNN. It's been on Sky News. It was on Sky News recently. I've seen it in The Independent, in The Guardian. I was having a little look around today actually for the most recent news, and look, this is taken on May the 30th. And it's essentially to do with volcanoes and how they believed that pottery in the Mayan days were made with ash, but because they found zircon, they've worked out that that wasn't actually possible. Little bits of info like this, and that's from a science website as well. It's dripping in all over. It's dripping into popular culture with things like CNN. It's dripping into science like we've just seen then. The thing with this gemstone is it's getting known. Now, what happens when people start to know about gemstones? Think about your tanzanite. What happened when Tiffany took it on? The price went up. People wanted it. What happened with diamond? Now, for me personally, don't get me wrong, obviously I love diamond, but for me personally, zircon, for me, is so much more than diamond, and it truly is. I think if zircon had even quarter of the amount of money and publicity pushed into it that diamond has had over the last many years, this would be quadruple the price of diamond, is what I genuinely believe. We've only got 2 of the strands of zircon on our website, and they're nowhere near like this. This genuinely has so much to offer. What I will say is as well, not only is the history behind it, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the history behind it after I bring the pricing in a little bit, but I need to also let you know with this, it offers you clarity that you would want from, say, a diamond. It offers you that sparkle, which in fact diamond can't even offer you because this is doubly refractive. It's just not the same effect at all. It's offering you that stunning faceting on this strand, which is just unrivaled to me. Zircon is something which is so amazing when you have this quality. Think about diamond as well for me, okay? Think about diamond and then think of the faux diamond, the ones that are made that want to be a diamond. Okay, so you'll be thinking of certain names now. You might be thinking things like Diamante, which are, you know, obviously made by man to replicate or look slightly like a diamond. You've got lots and lots of names like that. You know, your Diamoniques, which do the same. They try and be. Zircon has the same thing. It's cubic zirconia. Now, cubic zirconia, I'm sure a lot of you know. I'm sure a lot of you have heard that. On your high streets, you will see cubic zirconia. Even in the really big high-end jewellery stores, cubic zirconia is a man-made created piece to try and replicate this gemstone. That goes to show how much this is sought after, doesn't it? If people are trying to copy this, and I'm sure when you've seen cubic zirconia as well, you know the price points. I saw a cubic zirconia ring the other day. It was set into plated silver and it was over £55. The fact of the matter is, and that was a carat and a bit's worth. Obviously it's not done in that weight, but it was tiny. You've got 25 carats worth here. It's not even close to £55. My mouth dropped at this price. £24.95. I cannot even understand how that is possible. Genuinely, Debbie, what do you think of that price? This is astonishing to me.
Well, you're getting the opportunity to work with something really quite amazing, aren't you? And you can tell the story of the gemstone when you're making your jewellery. It's beautiful. I've never really seen anything else that sparkles in the way that that does.
No.
You know, with the colours.
Yes.
The colours are really quite unusual, and you can, once you get used to sort of knowing what the gemstone is, I think you can quite easily recognise it when you see it.
I think, as you were saying about the story, I think it'll be nice to just impart a little bit of the story to you now. This is the oldest gemstone in the world. It's literally shaped the way scientists believe our world was created. it's essentially, a very long story short, there's a gentleman, two professors, Professor Wilde and Professor Valley, and they worked together. One of them was actually in Australia searching for gold, and they found a very, very small piece of this gemstone before, unknown essentially, and they worked together to try and age this gemstone. They bought, about 25 years ago now, they bought a piece of equipment called a spectrometer, and it cost £1.5 million for them to buy. And they basically looked into the gemstone, this tiny, tiny fragment that they found of this gem, and they were able to date it back. In fact, I've got a slide. I'll send you that one. Can you see on there, right, this is, if you can see at the very, very end, this is how time itself is working, okay? So at the very end, see there's a picture of a dinosaur at the bottom. To the side of that, you've got the skull, which is where the humans came into the earth. Look right back at the other end of the scale, the formation of Earth. And then as you move along slightly, this is around 4.5 billion years ago. That is where the Jack Hill zircon was found. That's what it's been dated back to by Valley and his spectrometer. 4.5 billion years ago. If you think of that on a time scale, if you think about how long humans have been around for, and on this scale, it's literally taking up this tiny, tiny proportion. Now, that for us has just meant that this gemstone aged the world in a sense. Up until this point, they actually thought the Earth was younger than it was, but this gemstone proved that it wasn't. It's also proved how the Earth and the formation and the cooling of the Earth has worked as well. You've only got 23 opportunities to get your hands on that. That is over half of my stock gone. You need to get your hands on this because genuinely it's in the news, which means that it's going up in popularity, which means that people are going to start to know and want this gemstone strand. I think it's amazing that you're able to get your hands on that. Genuinely, if there's any left, there probably won't be once everyone checks out. If there is, I'm getting myself a couple of those. It's exceptional. Congratulations if you managed to get your hands on that. Possibly my favourite buy of the day, I'll be honest. But then I've got this sticky bead mat. I love this mat.
That's brilliant. You know, I can never get hold of it because it always sells out as soon as you bring it to air. When they first came out, they were really, really expensive because whose beads don't just roll all over the place? Or, you know, you put your beads out and you're always going to put some on a flat surface and you knock it on the way past with your hand, whatever, and they end up on the floor. This is just the most fantastic invention ever. It
is so wonderful. It truly, truly is. It has these little U-shaped wells in there so that you can get your gemstones laid out. Now, if you use a bead board in general, you'll know that it's great for setting out your designs, really, planning what you're going to do. I'm going to get this out to show you because it is double-sided as well. You've got two forms of your measurements on here. Oh no! I've only got 48. Let's get your price in them. £12.95 for you today. They are adored. You can see you've got your protective seal on there, which you can keep, but if I just take this off, this is one side of them. So this is to kind of mark out your designs. So you can see the measurements at the top. You can see these wells to place your beads. And then if I show you the other side, it's a very different effect. This is great for if you're going to be creating things like your bibs, because you've not got the wells in there, hasn't it?
It's better because you've got more of a space, a design space.
Yeah, and you can actually scope things out and how they will look on this, and you know that it's going to be kept all nicely and neatly in place. It's a tool and it's a goodie which genuinely is just going to keep you in place. Scott's just said this is in capitals, which means it's very important. I am in love with this item. Don't know how I ever managed without it. You need this for your jewellery making needs. Thank you very, very much for that. It is something though that you need. It's double-sided, it's sticky on both sides. You have got the centimetres, you've got inches measurements on there as well, depending on what you personally work in or work with. You've got places for small beads on there. One of the things that people say time and time again, they love seed beads, but getting them on to something when they're rolling around on a table or on your work surface or even in your bead box that isn't sticky. Sometimes if you've got them in the wells, it's like you can't get them out, can you?
No.
At all. With this, you've not got that problem. You can actually move them, and I've done this before, move them initially so that the drill holes are all facing up, and then you literally, with your monofilament or weather, just go dup, 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 and they're all in place, they're all sorted. It makes it so much easier as well. It really does. If you were to, say to someone using this for the first time, what kind of things they could create with this with ease, what would you suggest?
I'd say when you're using a really gemstone heavy, when you're making a gemstone heavy piece, and obviously since these first came out, these just kind of be flat pieces of stickiness. Someone's really thought about this design, haven't they? So you've got, you can measure on it, you can do everything that you can do with your beadboard, which I always say is like your design station. You need that, you set everything out. Everything you can do with your beadboard, you can do with this, but you have the ease of being able to get hold, and especially me, sometimes when my hands are hurting, I can't get hold of things, especially when it rains. I'm like a barometer. So with this, they're actually flat. So the ease of picking them up, and also they're not going to roll around. They're going to stay where you put them, so that you can see what you're designing. So I think that's really the beauty of this, and I definitely want one of these.
Absolutely agree with that. One thing that's important to note with this as well, it is a sticky bead mat, but there's no residue. No. So although it's sticky, when you actually run your fingers on it, there is no residue at all. And of course it's sticky, but it's not like, say, your masking tape, and once you use it a couple of times it's just not sticky anymore. All you have to do is rinse it off, dry it, and the sticky surface is back there. So no residue at all. Like if I'm pressing my fingers on this now and then put my fingers together, there's no stickiness, no tackiness at all. Oh, how do you clean the sticky mat? Oh, will it still be sticky forever, even after cleaning? You can clean it off, you can rinse it, you can dry it. I hope that helps you with your question there. It's really useful. I've only got 15 left of these though. I'm gonna have to move on because I've got so much to get in, and also I know it's gonna be a sellout, so I'm gonna move on. Please, you 6 or 7, do check out your baskets for me. I've got your first kit of designer inspiration now, which means these little beauties are coming soon. I've got your designer inspiration kit. Now, what did you think of this when you first saw it?
Brilliant, because you've got the shapes that everyone can identify with. So you've got your stars and you've got your hearts, but also you can stamp words that associate with these shapes, which just made my imagination go wild. So, you falling star, love, hearts, the two shapes that people tend to find that the most popular for people who are making or buying jewellery, you've got in this kit. So my imagination kind of went wild when I got this. I thought it was really, really user-friendly. And I didn't use, well, I don't think even half of it. So you get lots of your stamping blanks in there. So if you're wanting to start off stamping, you want to make quite a bit, maybe you want to make a suite of jewellery, this is ideal because you can use it sort of all together. You can add bits from your stash if you want to. I just added a little bit of wire to one of my pieces to make it go further. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed using it.
I'm glad you had fun working with this. You're absolutely right about the shapes. They're unisex as well. A star and a heart, very unisex, isn't it? So you could create these pieces for anybody. You're going to be getting 10 of these beautiful stars. They've got that copper plating, so really strong and sturdy, perfect for your stamping, and they've got that lovely brush detail. These are 30mm, it says, and you've also got the hearts too. Heart shapes is one of our most popular shapes here at Jewellery Maker, and the fact that this shape is mimicked within 2 of our strands as well is exceptional. You've got 10 of these hearts as well. You're also going to be getting a selection of your jump rings, and these are described as white saw cut jump rings.
They're the aluminium ones.
Describe them as silvery. Just say white on the back.
They're not
of them.
white, they're silvery. They're like a matte, I think they're your aluminium. So they're like when you have your anodised aluminium sheet, they're the same colour.
It's the same colour as that, isn't it?
So I would think you could have a play with those with colour if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, I'd love the idea of that. And they have got that matte effect as well, haven't they? These are 9mm on these jump rings, and you'll be getting 100 in this packet. You've also got chain, and I personally haven't seen this chain before. It is a beautiful chunky monkey, fun, modern twist on a chain. Take a look at this. Good length on this as well, actually, isn't it? A meter's worth. One of the chunky chains I've been doing recently are only 40 centimetres, so it's great you've got a meter's worth. If you're wondering how to use this chain, do not worry, lovely Debbie K will show you. But also I just wanted to show you one of the chains that we've used recently, and this is Gemma Crow's piece, and she's used them actually to wrap a cab. Can you see here? This is actually using chain like this, sorry, which is just bent over and shaped. So if I show you the back of it, you'll be able to see that the chain goes around the back and it's just held into place. So each of these links is used. So you can use this chain in a multitude of ways, you really, really can. So a meter's worth of that. You've got the large oval, and Joe, what's great about this, the texturing, you know that brush texture I showed you on the heart and the stars? It's exactly the same on this. You've got that beautiful brush texture, your large oval and your small rounds on here as well. Those is a pair of cufflinks, perfect size, isn't it? As well as this, you've of course got the gemstones, which I love to save till last because these are so special. I've got 2 strands of hearts, beautiful aventurine, which is just this really cooling, almost pepperminty green that you've got coming from this aventurine. It's absolutely stunning. And then you've got 120 carats worth of that. And you've also got your 200 carats of the flat hearts. Now, these are so workable together because look, the sizing is the same, 10 mil on each one of these strands. Beautiful to work with something with such a deep and heavy submetallic luster as the pyrite, and then something so fresh and clean and bright and spring summertime with the aventurine. It's absolutely wonderful. I'm so excited to bring you this strand too, because how rare is it to have a strand of stars? But you've got it here today in this black agate, again 10 mil, working perfectly alongside the other 2 strands. And these are serious stars. You could, of course, you know, pair them up and maybe give them the look of a flower if you so wished, but these are just going to be eye-catching because it's so unusual to have this shape, isn't it, Debbie K?
It's really unusual, and also I like making hearts into flowers as well, and you can make stars into flowers. So if you're going to add some wire in there to your designs, then you can sort of add a multitude of shapes because your gemstones are already shaped. So you could add some sort of just round ones in the middle and make flowers to go sort of with your stamp. So there's lots and lots of versatility, I think, with this kit.
I absolutely agree with that completely. Versatility times 10, and tell you what, price point is going to be a stunner as well. It's not 37 and 65 pence. That is what it should be. Don't forget the jump rings as well, get those ones in. We are taking a massive price drop on this, huge. £21 and 95 pence. £15 and 70 pence saving. Wow, what do you think of that price point, Debbie K?
That's so affordable. I like it when the kits are affordable because I think it gives everybody the opportunity to try something. And if you haven't got into your stamping yet, personalising everything is just really, really big at the moment. So if you're wanting to try it, this is quite a great way to do it because of the amount of blanks that you get. So that you can actually make quite a few pieces without having to sort of shell out for different groups of things because it's all sort of together in one kit. So that's really good.
It's wonderful that you can give it a go at this price, can't you? If you've never ever tried stamping before, personalising your pieces is so popular at the moment. In fact, it's kind of always been, hasn't it? There's something about getting something that's individual for you or for the person you're giving to, which is special, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that I've always said the things that I sold the most of when I was selling a lot of my jewellery were the personalised items, the things that I had put a little phrase on the back of. Sometimes it might not even be something that you want people to see. You might just wear the star to the front and know that you've got a little soppy message on the back. Do you know what I mean? But it makes it yours, your piece of jewellery, nobody else's. And there's something special about that, I think.
I absolutely agree with that. There's definitely something special. And you can have names, you can have word lyrics, you can just have words that mean something to you on here, can't you?
Yeah, you can. That's the beauty of it. And also, if you're doing it yourself, if you want to stamp something that maybe there's your pet name for your other half that you wouldn't actually want to tell anyone, you know, because you're a bit embarrassed or shy, you can stamp anything you want on there. Or maybe you don't want somebody to know when your anniversary is or how old you are or how old somebody is. You can just stamp it on there. You can do it yourself. You can even ask people what they want written on there. And sometimes it's song lyrics, sometimes it's little phrases. Now, our best friends have little names and phrases.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just a little phrase. And the amount of people that have got jewellery with little phrases and that on, and they've just had such an emotional reaction to it, because it's emotional, and you've put lots of thought into what you're giving.
Yeah, it's the thought and care aspect, isn't it? And also I think it's the fact that you've got something individual, you've got something singular, something of your own. I'm sure if you watch our sister channel on things like Gems TV, they have ranges such as your Lorique range, which you know, a lot of the time they'll just have one individual piece. There's only one piece that was ever made, and people go crazy for it because you're going to be the only person who owns that. Well, you can recreate that feeling and that importance and that care and love at home by simply stamping something absolutely unique, one-off, individual for yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. You can put dates, you can put ages, you can put poetry, song lyrics, names. I mean, everybody likes pieces with, you know, their kids' names on.
Yeah,
they are the most, to this day for me, the most popular pieces of jewellery that people ask me for are things with their children's names on. And it's never really been simpler to be able to do it. All you need are your stamps, your block, your hammer, and your bits and pieces.
And you're done.
You're sorted.
You're sorted. Now, for someone who's watching maybe for the first time, and as you say, this is your first designer inspiration, isn't it?
Stamping,
on stamping. Is this tricky?
No.
Can beginners do this?
Yeah.
Do you have to have been silversmith course or anything else like that to be able to do this?
And I think now, from when I've sort of started doing it, they've developed a lot of tools and a lot of techniques that make it easy. So of course, everything's trial and error. You need to practice with anything. You'll get used to how hard you have, said this before, how hard you have to hit different stamps. So in my sort of experience, a pure copper blank, well, you need to hit a bit harder because it's sort of heavier metal. Whereas these brushed metal ones, these are perfect. You really don't have to hit them that hard. They're really quite user-friendly in that respect. But the good thing about this is, I would always take one of your stars or one of your hearts and have it as your test piece. Okay. So that maybe you want to just have a play if you've never done it before with your stamps. If you get the stamps today, we've got some amazing ones, haven't we?
Oh my goodness, amazing.
Have a play and and you'll see yourself how hard you need to hit. You know, a lot depends on what hammer you use, what surface you're stamping on, but you will need your steel block.
You will need that steel block. And am I right in saying we've got that coming up in a little bit? Fine, we've got that coming up in a little bit with all your essentials in that as well. So whereabouts are we going to start with this beautiful silver design?
I thought we'd start here with the Make-A-Wish necklace. Now, the first thing that you need to do when you're planning a piece of jewellery that you're going to stamp is decide what you actually want to put on your stamp. And sometimes the phrase that you have in your head, like I might have wanted to put wish upon a star on there, falling star, you know, whatever you want to put on, you've got to make sure that it's going to fit on your blank. So you need to really start with planning your design in your head. It's not really a as you go along kind of thing. No. And what I usually do is I start with a pen and a piece of paper, and I practice how I might like to write the word, how I'd like to space it out, so what looks good, so that you're not doing your trial and error when you start. You're not thinking, oh, I'll just start to stamp and see what happens. It's not really that sort of thing. So it's more about the planning. So if you start by choosing the blank that you want to work with, and having a good idea of what you want to write on it. And it will become apparent very, very quickly if that's going to be doable. Okay. Now, bearing in mind, these don't have holes in, which I absolutely love because you can turn them any which way. So if you wanted to, like I made some earrings, and actually my words that I wanted to put on didn't fit. But I found that if you turned your blank sideways and put the holes in a different place. I could actually fit what I wanted to say across.
Clever, because you've got the largest area.
Yeah.
Clever.
So you need to really just have a little think and have a little look at your blank and just think about what you want to write, and if that is doable. Like falling is a long word, and I wanted to write falling on that top star, and I realised that it wasn't really going to fit if I had my point sticking up and I put my hole in my top point.
I see.
Which is probably how you conventionally would hang it if you didn't think about it, but it's quite good because it makes you think outside the box. So I turned it sideways so that I could fit in falling, and then if you can't, when you actually get your stamp down and you sort of have a look, then you have to rethink.
Yeah.
Or put it over 2.
I see.
Okay?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through stamping right from the top, right from so please do excuse me if you know what you're doing, but I'm just going to go right from as if you've never done it before.
Brilliant.
Is that okay?
Yeah, great. It'll be nice for newbies, but also a refresher for us.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to turn that to face me so I can remember what I did.
Okay.
So the tools that you're going to need for your basic stamping are something to stamp on. You're going to need your block. That's a must, because you need something, a hard surface, and it can't be wood, it needs to be metal so that you can get the indentation from your stamp, and you need a decent hammer.
And that is exactly what I've got for you here right now, actually. So let's get these on now so that people know that they can order it now. They've got it then, and we can work out how to use it. So this is the steel block which we're using. It's imperative for this.
It's imperative. You can't do it without a steel block. Steel blocks used to cost a fortune. They used to be quite small, and then the postage used to be a fortune as well because they're heavy.
Heavy, yeah.
So it was something that you saved up for. That isn't the case with Jewellery Maker. So it's not something that, you know, is a considered purchase. And also you can use them for lots of other things as well, like work hardening your wire. So yeah, I'd highly recommend that if you stamp, you absolutely need your metal block.
You've also got your hammer here, so this is your chasing hammer. This is a serious professional tool, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't just go to your DIY store and get, you know, something out of there, can you?
It's how you hold it. It's the weight of the hammer. Now, depending on what you're stamping onto, I have found by using this chasing hammer that sometimes with the copper, it's easier to have a heavier hammer. So I have been working a lot with the Whammer that we've had, and I found that so far is my favourite hammer to stamp with. But if you're on the softer, if you're on the aluminium, fantastic. And if you're on the softer blanks, this one, it works absolutely perfectly. And also it will texture, perfect for texturing and perfect for flattening your metal pieces and work hardening your wire. So it does lots and lots of things. So I would recommend this one. And
then it's back in stock. It is our hole punch. People go crazy for this.
Do you know, I've got 3 of these.
Do you?
Do you know why? Because it's so simple. I mean, I love my Dremel, don't get me wrong, I love my drill, but this made my life so much easier. If I wasn't doing what I class as messy metal work, you know, I didn't have my pickle out and my soldering torch, and I wasn't being messy, I could keep my work inside, I could keep it clean, I can just literally punch different size holes, depending on which one you get. You have 2 different size holes. Is that the one that we're bringing?
The original,
The original. So you've got 2 different size little mandrels, and all you have to do is just turn around your top and it makes your hole, you place your piece inside. It's very easy on your hands, it's not a hard thing to use. Once you've put your blank in, once you feel the little mandrel go through, it gets a little bit tougher, but you really don't have to force it round. So that's easy, it's easy on your hands, which, you know, and you don't have to get your drill out, you don't have to get your goggles out, you don't have to tape it down to a piece of wood. It's very, very easy. So I tend to find that having this and just popping it out and making my holes, invaluable. I love it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And the thing is, you can use it on these copper banks, you can use it on aluminium, you can use it on polymer even, can't you?
You can. It's a fabulous little tool. And I've said this before a few times, but I was a bit of a drill snob before. I was like, what do you want that for? I drill my holes. And then I got one and went, oh, actually.
I love it.
I love it. It's so easy to use.
It's normally £8.95 by itself, that. 23.85 is your price. That all of this should be together today, though. We're gonna go as low as we could. It's not £23.85 your price for all of this, just £14.95. Now, I've seen steel blocks for that price.
More than that. 20 quid plus for a steel block in some places, plus your postage, which they charge you for how heavy it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So that, you know, so you're thinking, oh, okay, well, you know, I'll order that, but then it's going to cost me X amount more. So if you're going to get metal tools, I always think it's a great idea to get them at once. because you're not paying for any extra for postage.
No.
So you just add it to your order, and you've got that one, haven't you? So it's not making your one piece more expensive, is it? Your one tool.
It's only £2.95 for postage and packaging all day until midnight tonight, no matter how much stuff you get. Gemma Quo tried to post this to one of her friends, and it was £6.50 just to post it. Doesn't matter with us, it doesn't matter how much you get, what it weighs, it's £2.95 until midnight, so get it whilst you can at £14.95. It's an absolute bargain. Multi-buyers on this as well. Maybe you're multi-buying because you're thinking of doing your own workshops, you're thinking of doing your own classes, you're thinking of getting family and friends involved. Whatever your reason, go for it, because at this price point you know it's an absolute stunner. Stamping essentials, hammer, block and your metal punch, £14.95. The original hole punch. Original. It's exciting. Oh, it's exciting. I might have another one or maybe more coming up for you later on. I wouldn't like to say that. So we've got our metal block, we've got our hammer, we're ready to go.
We're ready to rock. Now there are some different ways that you can make your letters stand out. Some people would just like to stamp the letters and leave them as be. Now you can do some complicated things, you know, you can add your liver of sulphur, you can add your patinas, but I'm just going to cover a nice basic way to make your letters stand out today.
Brilliant.
So I decided I wanted to write Make-A-Wish, and that fitted fine, and I chose to use my upper and lower case, because sometimes if you use upper and lowercase, it just makes a really nice whimsical feel. But you can use uppercase because you can see them quite clearly. So if you've just got your uppercase stamps or just your lowercase, you can do that. So it's up to you, but it does make a really eye-catching visual if you do use upper and lower together. If you can get both of those, are quite good in it. So I need to decide, first of all, how I'm going to hang my blank. So I decided that I am actually going to hang it in quite a conventional way. So I'll do my hole at the top. So as you stamp your metal, your work starts to work harden.
Yes.
So I would make my hole first.
Okay.
Just because it's an easier way of doing it. So if you want to be very, very precise about it, you can take your permanent marker and just make a little mark where you think you want your hole to be. Now again, I tend to do a lot of this by eye because I'm used to it, but if you want to be very precise, you can get your ruler out and do all that if you want to.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you've got, as I said, your two sizes on your mandrel. One is thicker than the other, and I tend to think that for this design the smaller mandrel is absolutely fine, and I believe from memory one is 1.5 and one is 2 mil.
That's right.
So I'm going to go for more 1.5, but bearing in mind at this point, if you wanted to use thicker wire through it, thicker jump rings, maybe some cord, then you would probably want to use the thicker mandrel. But it's not the end of the world because you always go back in and put the thicker one through. So I always get down on my level of my hole punch so that I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to get down on the level, I'm going to lift up my hole punch and just pop in my blank. Now it just takes a little minute, and you can see if you have made the hole with your permanent marker where your mandrel is going to come down, and you just make a little turn and you can feel when it comes into contact with your blank. Just hold on to it and twist it around.
Because it's held into place now, so it's not fiddling
held
now.
Into place, and that isn't being heavy on my hands at all. And I can feel when I go through, because it kind of gets a little bit harder to turn, and then it becomes loose. And then you just reverse your mandrel. So I've actually got the little piece of metal in my hand that came out. And so then you've got your hole at the top. So don't worry if you've still got a little bit of permanent marker left on there, that's going to come off because I'm going to use some methylated spirits in a minute to take that off. So if you do want to mark things, if you want to draw lines, some people again like to be really precise and get the ruler out, you can do that, that's absolutely fine because you can take that permanent marker off afterwards.
Yeah.
So I would again say lay your stamps out, get them out, lay them out before you start, and then you're not fiddling about trying to see which ones. So I've actually laid out in front of me Make-A-Wish. I'm going to pop my glasses on for this so I can see. And I've worked out how I want to write it as well. I want Make on the top, I want a capital A in the middle, and then Wish. So what I use is my masking tape. I use my masking tape to hold down my blank, and I use my masking tape as a ruler as well. I know some people talk about special tape that you can buy and all the rest of it, but really masking tape does the job.
Brilliant.
So I'm going to pop that across in a straight line. Now again, if I wanted to be really precise, I could get my ruler and I could do little marks
and measure.
And I know that makes some people comfortable. I tend to be more of an organic jewellery maker and I'm more used to it. But what tends to work is if you just make a little mark right in your centre.
On the masking tape.
On the masking tape. And you would always start with your middle letter. Now sometimes you don't have odd numbers, so if you've got a 4-letter word, you can sort of work it out that way. The reason being, if I started stamping make, I started with my M over to the left, I might end up with a massive gap on the right. So that's what people ask me about the most, is the spacing of your lettering. And you might have written it out all properly and then you think, oh, I didn't think of that once you stamp it on. So Make-Wish, M-A-K-E, I'm going to start with my A. Depending on what stamps you're using, these ones actually have, these are the ones that we've had before on here, these actually have your letter on them.
Your impressor will be coming up later on, those stamps will be coming up for you.
And these are a lovely font, these are the lowercase, so I decided to do sort of a capital letter as you would write and use my lowercase in between. So if you face that letter towards you, then your stamp will go down and it will stamp in the correct way, so it won't be upside down.
Okay.
So if you just press your stamp roughly where you want it to be. Now I'm actually using the Whammer with this. And I'm going to give it a couple because I'm on a surface that is a little bit brittle, so I need to be careful here. And I've got my A. And then I'm going to use my K so that I've got my 2 centre letters out of the way. So my K is facing me again. I've slipped that. Just let me take that off and pop it on again. My hands are a bit slippery under the lights.
It's warm in here, isn't it?
It is very warm, so I'm warm. Do excuse me, my hands are a little bit slippery. So, okay. And again, don't go for really, really neat. If you look at a lot of these designs, if you go on that well-known website where people showcase their designs, people make them look whimsy.
Yeah, they do.
I don't want my stamping to look like a machine did it.
No.
I want it to look like I've done it.
Definitely.
So don't be worrying if your K is slightly skew with. When you start to add your patina afterwards, it actually looks really nice.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that.
So don't get bent out of shape over and think, I've done it wrong, I can't use that.
No.
Because I think it's really nice to sort of have that kind of whimsical feel to it.
Definitely.
So,
because at the end of the day, it's a gift, or it's, you know, it's make for someone. It's not, you know, a legal document, or
and you're not a machine.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't want it to look like a machine did it and it's mass produced. So you know, and everyone's different. You can be as precise as you want, obviously, but if you do look at hand stamped things, they tend to be a little bit more organic.
Definitely.
A little bit more organic. So I'm going to pop my K down there.
Okay.
Yep. And then I've got a capital M. What have you got there? The uppercase. Yeah, that's what I'm going to use next.
You're going to use this one next.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring you the uppercase in the Impress. Now, £39.95 these are. You've obviously got the whole of the alphabet, and then you've also got a few of the extra shapes as well on there, such as the $sign, your star sign. You've got something that's a bit fleur-de-lis as well. These ones that you can see at the base, you'll be getting those too, as well as your and sign too. What's that called for now?
And for Sam.
And for Sam. These ones are coming in for you now. They're 3mm. This is what lovely Debbie K is using. And apparently we're also going to bring the lowercase for you as well. This is coming at the bottom of your screen. Again, £39.95 on these. They're going to last and last and last, aren't they?
These are, I've said before, your Rolls Royce of stamps. So you might start off with a basic stamp, and then I think once you get into stamping, you want to offer more. You want to offer different fonts. You know what I like about this? They're a nice, unusual font, but you can read them.
Yes. Yeah. They're very legible.
So it's not like, oh look, that's a really nice font, but what actually does that say when you stamp it on?
Yeah.
So these are my favourite ones out of the ones that we do, the upper and lowercase. If you get them together, when I go into my next design inspiration in a minute, you'll see that I've written, and it really does look pretty. I really like the way it presents itself when it's on the metal.
On the metal, absolutely. Don't forget, we've got our brand new ones coming up in a little bit as well, but if you want to get these ones right here, right now, they're only £39.95 for your upper and for your lowercase today.
For both of them?
Each.
I was going to say. Right.
Well, you think we're giving them away, Debbie K?
I was going to say, that's a bit like buy one, get one free. What are you doing?
No. £39.95 for you. I have got the brand new ones coming up in a little bit as well. Let me give you a sneaky flash. These are the lowercase. It's a flash. Look quick. They're going. They're going. They're gone. They're gone. They're gone.
She's such a tease, isn't she?
Jewellery maker there coming up for you in a little bit as well.
Right, so I've got my capital M. I'm just going to pop it down facing me so that I know how to place my metal. Give it a whack. And then I just need my E.
So you're just doing a couple of quick, sharp thrusts.
I am. I've said before, I'm a little bit wary of my surface here because I'm on kind of like a perspex table, which I actually thought was glass before, and I was even more. But when you're on your own, in your own home, you will do it on a place that's obviously really safe. So maybe like a wooden or your kitchen. I usually do one on my kitchen worktop, and you can give it a good whack. And everyone's different. Sometimes I might get my husband to stamp things for me. You know, if I'm really up against it, I'll go, well, stamp that on there for me. And he gives it one whack. That's his kind of bloke stamping.
And it's done.
And it's done. But we get the same effect. So it's like anything with jewellery making. I think you find your own way of doing it. As long as you're getting the result that you want, there is no right or wrong way.
No, definitely.
You know, let's not get about that. I'll shave over it. So I've got my make. I'm quite happy with that. And then I wanted to do a capital A. And I've already thought about my spacing beforehand, so I sort of want it in the middle of my word. So I'll do my A. And then I want wish. And I know my wish is going to fit under there. And as you can see, as you stamp, your actual blank is going to distort. It's going to go. That's the nature of metal. When you start to change its formation, it then starts to bow, and I'll show you what you can do about that in a minute, which is where your hammer comes into its own.
Fabulous.
We do like a bit of hammering.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can do with a hammer. Gets rid of all sorts of tension. All sorts of stress from your week.
Gemma Crow had her structural hammering the other day. They all sounded like little Santa's helpers. They were ding, 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 ding all day. They all came in quite a good mood, but by the end of the day, they were chilled out. They were loving it.
It's funny because when you're teaching people metalworking skills, you always say never saw when you're in a bad mood. So if you're actually, you know, sawing at a shape, but you can hammer. If you're in a bad mood, hammering is great. So if you're having a sort of a bit of a day, then go for the hammering. Do the hammering part of your design because that's perfect. That will help you out.
I love that. Good tip.
Not with a saw, or else you'll break the saw blade.
Yeah, good tip.
So I'm starting again with I've got wish, so I'm going to start with my centre letter, I, and I'm going to do it slightly to the left of my centre for my spacing. I seem to be slipping. I've made my masking tape a little bit sticky, that's why with my fingers. And then again, W, place it down. I'm just going to do this quickly so that we can move on to the next bit.
Okay.
It's not the neatest I've ever done.
I have got those new ones, those new stampers coming up for you in about how long? Now.
Oh, now! Yay, I like now.
Yeah, do you like now?
I like now. Let's do now.
Let's do now.
Yeah.
Because we've put our beautiful word in.
We have.
That's gorgeous. Do you want to show them? This is with all your wording done now.
Can you see how with my upper and lower case, it's made a lovely, let's try and get the light out, can you see that? It's made a really nice sort of, there we go, shadow. So you can leave it like that.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. In a minute I'll show you how, if you want to make those words stand out a little bit more, you can do that just with things that you've got lying around the house, really.
Fab.
No, quite exciting.
This is really exciting. Right, hang on. Which one do you want to do first? Let's do the upper first then. Okay. I've got different fonts for you to use today. This is kind of almost your no, not typewriter, almost your, if you're a word processor, maybe like your Arial.
Yeah,
it's that kind of standard,
bold sort of standard font that everybody can read, and I think you need that, don't you? You need to have that because you need to be able to read it. Yeah, it might look really, really great on the stamp, but if you start stamping it on the metal and you can't read it, it's a different thing. And it depends who you're making it for as well. You know, you need the person to be able to read what you're stamping.
100%. This is beautifully packaged. It is brand spanking new. Jewellery Maker packaged it. It's got that really sturdy, beautiful high shine casing, strong zip around the outside, and then take a look at this. Isn't that superb? Each one of these, the highest of quality. You've got the letters really bold and clear there, and they are a great size. You're not, cause sometimes, I'll be honest with you, sometimes because I've been into stamping for quite a while, not necessarily with metal, but with my card making and things like that. And when you have on your stamps sometimes a really small lettering, it's so irritating. Really trying to look at the end and trying to kind of work out, is that an N or a U? Is that a V actually?
That takes half of your time, doesn't it? Does. Actually, and then you stamp it and you think, oh no, it wasn't what I thought it was. I'm going to start again.
Totally true.
It's a pain. These are great to see. You know what I really like about these that struck me immediately when I went up to the office, because Linda said, I think we've got new stamps. And I went, have we? So I went straight up, is how well presented they are and how simple. Because if I want an A, I can see full well where an A is. Straight away. With the other ones, there's a little bit of kind of looking in and involved, and if you're anything like me and you're a messy worker, you haven't put them back in order. No, I never have done that in my life. So you're going, oh well, it's very nice if I was one of those really neat workers. You can go and get your stamp, your letter exactly from where it's supposed to be, and it's easy to put it back in that place as well. It absolutely is. If you want to have a real good look around one as well, let's do that, because they look very similar to the Impress Art ones that you've got there, don't they? Yeah, they're the same size. They've got that same lettering, the same area, they're the same length. Look, these are our very own ones. You can see the letter on there really clearly as well, can't you? Yeah. It looks the same, doesn't it really? Shall I stamp You've got the same area to hit on as well. Yeah, go on. Shall I see what it looks like? I need to just point something out to you. The price, and before we get the price, I just want to say to you, this is going to prove to you now what we do, possibly better than anything else you've seen in a very, very long time. We've just brought on the Impress in the uppercase and $39.95. Great price for them, it really, really is. This is a product that we have sourced ourselves, we have created ourselves. You can tell exactly what that is, can't you? Look at that, I'm impressed with that. That's the first time I've used that. Wow, I'm very impressed with that. That's really clear. Do you know I didn't hit that hard? That's really, really clear, isn't it? Okay, I'm impressed with that. These are really, we've put our heart into these. You know, if you've ever bought from, say, the portfolio bag or, you know, all the different goodies that we've personally made, that we've personally brought to you, you know that we put our name behind things that we trust in, we believe in. We put a lot of thought and effort and energy into this. And the fact of the matter is, we haven't let you down on price. I've just brought to you the Impress Art at £39.95. This today, £9.95 for the whole thing. Not just the letters, not just the case, the whole thing today. Genuinely, what do you think of that price? I think someone's put a lot of thought into this. Definitely. And they've thought, what are the areas that are maybe a little bit, not tricky, but annoying, like taking ages to find which letter you want. Looking after them, packing them. I like the case that they're in, I like the way they're presented. And you know what would be a really easy way to keep them? Because obviously they are metalworking tools and they can rust, any metalworking tool can. You're keeping them in a case that's going to keep them really secure. And you know those little silica packets that you get when you get a new handbag or new shoes? Yeah, never throw those away. Put them in your tool drawer. And you could just pop one in here and zip it up, and it's going to keep it it's going to keep your tools from going rusty, it's going to keep your tools from aging, and it's going to, you know, keep them for ages. And that is a very, very easy way of taking those with you, of storing them, of putting them, you know, wherever you keep. So I think someone's had a little think about this and thought, actually, what are the things that are a little bit annoying about it, and how can we make it better? Another thing that I think it's important to say to you actually is that this has taken us 9 months to source. That's how much, this is pretty much a year in the making. In fact, 9 months, that's like the time to make a baby, isn't it? Really, it is. It is, I've done it. I've done it 3 times, it is. It is though, and that's how much thought and effort we've put into this. Now I'm going to ask you something now. Yeah. Be honest. Yeah. You've stamped a lot. Yeah. Is there any letter that you've maybe had time and time again that you're like, oh, it's, you know, different types? Because I've used stamps that you think, oh, the A, the B, yeah, I can see what they are, and then there are some that you think, A.
What is
that?
Yeah.
And especially if you've got some of the little symbols in there as well, and you're trying to work out if the lowercase a is actually a swirl. You know, on some of them, and some of them are like joined up writing, and you can't always tell. Some of those are lovely when they're stamped on, but you can't tell until you've stamped on. I think the good thing about this as well, you know, and my eyes aren't great, I need my glasses, but I can see what that says.
Oh yeah, straight away. You can see really, really clearly, can't you?
I can see where I need to go for a D, and that is the thing, especially when I'm demoing on here and I need to do things quickly for you because I'm quite used to the morning show. And I know my demos aren't usually very long, and I'm kind of spending ages looking and squinting, trying to find, you know, LOVE for love. I can see exactly where it is there.
Oh yeah, easy peasy.
That's the main thing that kind of shouted out at me when I went upstairs to look at these, was how easy they are to use, and I like easy.
Let's see you use another one, which is generally a tricky letter. Let's just see how clear these are. Like,
okay, let's go
which
for
ones? Just to see
you Q actually.
Q, yeah. Just to see, yeah, because Q's a tricky one actually.
Q's a tricky one.
It's a certain, and then you've got that tiny area.
Let's see how that's.
So let's see how the Q stamps. So this is using our stamps. Brand new. Congratulations, all of you, hundreds and hundreds of people who are getting your hands on them. Guys, check out your baskets. Seriously.
Now, just remember on these that you haven't got your letter on the side. So all you need to do, it's not hard, is have a look at how it's written on the stamp and place it down as you would write it. Yeah. It's common sense. Oh, they're really good.
The shock in they are really good.
No, but you know, sometimes they go down and they're not as clear, and maybe you'll go over them again.
That is clearly a Q.
How clear is that? That's incredibly clear.
Because that is a tough letter.
You know why I said because I didn't have to hit it really hard, and I didn't have to fiddle about putting it back in the indentations again and hitting it again. And sometimes that happens, you know. Yeah. User friendly as well. 10 quid. I want them.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really impressed with that. So that, and obviously I haven't used that. That's the first time that I've used that. But it's what you need it to do. It's easy to stamp, and you can see what you're actually stamping. So,
what you're actually stamping. It's wonderful. I've got my lowercase coming up for you in a little bit as well. I just need to give you, we're going to carry on with this demo because I just want to give you, everyone at home, there is a queue on the phone, it's about 2 minutes. More than likely this is going to be a sellout or very, very close to. Oh, do you want to do the lowercase now? Okay, all right. We'll do the lowercase now before we carry on with this.
That's fine.
It's exactly the same rigmarole. You've got your packaging, beautifully packaged again. Again, it's small letters this time, so keep your eyes peeled for, can you see the letters on this? Again.
Oh, wow.
Clear as day. Because actually, when working with the smaller letters, they are generally the hardest ones to work out, I think. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's my sort of mind.
You're right. It's the P's and B's.
Yes, yeah.
P's and B's.
P's, B's, D's.
D's, lowercase G's.
Yeah.
You are actually sort of squinting, and then you still might stamp and go, oh, that's the other one.
Right, yeah.
But if you make sure you put them back in the right place, as I say, it's not hard to do because it's right there for you. That takes all that guesswork and annoying stuff out of it, doesn't it? And I think if you'll know, if you stamp a lot, you'll know what I mean.
£9.95 for you again as well for the whole of the alphabet, and you have got your hand sign on here too. Say that to me again. Both on screen for us now. Great. So lowercase at the side, OBGX35, and then down at the bottom is your uppercase TOGX96. Get yourself both today, because do you know what? Let's face it, at £10 each, that's £20 worth. You couldn't even buy one of the impresses.
You couldn't,
for that price.
You can sell your first piece, which can be one of these stars or hearts. You can write love on it and charge 20 quid, and you've got your money back.
Got your money back for both.
There you go.
Easy peasy.
And also, I really like the way these, you know, you've got both of them in your bag. Done.
Easy peasy.
Easy to store, easy to use. Yeah, wow, 10 quid. That works for me. I mean, I just think that, you know, everyone thinks about the money, don't they? You know, you work hard for your money, and £10
You work hard for it, honey.
You don't, you know, and you can get your upper and hard for the money.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
You can get both of your upper and lower case in an affordable way.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not 60 or 80 quid, it's just 20 quid. So.
Absolutely.
I like that.
I like it a lot. Thank you so much for getting your hands on these today. We've put a lot of work into these, a lot of work. I'm sure you can imagine, I'm sure you can. 9 months hard work for these beauties, and you've got your chance to get your hands on them today. £9.95. Someone's just asked if someone could show the word wish, in our letters.
In all uppercase? Does it matter?
Why don't we switch it up?
Let's mix it up.
Right, so wish.
Capital W.
Yeah, go on. I'll be your assistant if you want.
Are you my assistant?
Yeah, why not? You got your W.
Thank you very much. I need my little I.
Little I.
Can you tell I've got little children? Little S.
Little S. And
a little H.
A little H as well. This is easy, I'll be honest with you as well. I'm dyslexic and I find it a nightmare with letters, but even here, because they're so clearly spaced and they're so obvious, even I'm just like, oh, there we go, fine with that.
So I start with one of my middle letters. What have I got here?
That means your I, your I.
Your I. Let's see how this stamps. It's quite exciting, actually.
I know, it is exciting, isn't it?
Oh!
Clear, clear.
Clear as day.
Joe, I love, that's the little I as well, and you've even got that gap where the dot is.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Gosh, that is clear.
Isn't that clear? And these
genuinely
are mega soft. These are, oh, look at that.
That is so clear, because the letters just seem to have the right indentation, the right depth to them.
You know what they are? Look at that. I'll take that off and show you. They're heavy duty. They're heavy duty.
Sorry to get my hands in the way, but have a look at that. And then let me show you the wish on the impress. Make your own mind up. Make your own mind up.
Crumbs.
They look very, very similar. Some might even say it's a different font, obviously.
Only marginally,
but,
though, isn't it?
Marginally, but they're both clear, aren't they?
Both clear. I'm impressed with that. I'm very impressed with that.
Personally, I'd rather get these ones and spend £30 on food or
shoes.
Shoes. I was going to say wine, but it's
or
a bit
hammers.
early. Or hammers. Perfect. That's amazing.
I'm very impressed with that, because sometimes when things are less expensive, you wonder if the quality will be affected, and you don't know till you use them,
Absolutely.
do you? And obviously I'm not going to stand here and say they're rubbish, but they're not. They really are lovely to use.
You've seen it yourself. You can kind of make your own judgment there, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
I got a mess. I have been desperate to get affordable metal stamps. Thank you so much. I have purchased the upper and the lower case. I can't wait to get started.
You wait till you get them home, and you'll just be stamping away, and you'll even start stamping, you know, oh, and you'll see like a little poem or a name, and think, I can stamp that, and it just takes your jewellery to a whole new, quite exciting level. And if you make a lot of jewellery, it's nice to add new dimensions that you don't have to like have a degree to know how to use, and you don't have to spend a fortune to buy the tools. I like that, because it keeps you interested, it keeps your motivation fired up, doesn't
Definitely,
it?
it really, really does. Honestly, congrats for getting these. Won't say what I just exclaimed at the price point. Lol.
We can guess. We can guess.
Probably have a guess. I know, it's absolutely astonishing. I have got another different font coming up for you, and something different as well in this one. Hi ladies, amazing show. I've just ordered uppercase and lowercase. Only £9.95 each in their own case. I'm speechless. Loved it all. Thank you very much from Jean. I've got like over half my stock gone on both of these now though. I've got this coming up for you in a little bit too. This will be later on. Ready? Woo!
Number.
They're coming up for you in a little
So that's
bit.
all that you need. That's everything. You get your numbers, you are sorted for a new medium. And do you know what I really like? That it makes it accessible for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, within reason. So that's really good. Shall I show you how to make your letters stand out a little bit while we're here? I'm getting really excited about all the steps. Let me use that one.
Let me try that one too. Yeah.
Right, so you've made your your word, whatever it is. And you can patina these. You can use metal patina, you can use Swelligan. I have used some metal patina on the next kit that I'll show you a little bit later. But you know, sometimes people hear those words and they think, I really don't know what I'm doing with that. It puts me off, and then they don't try it because your mind closes, doesn't it? This is easy. I'm just going to show you how to do it with a permanent marker.
Brilliant.
So I've got a permanent marker. It does have to be a permanent marker. You could do it with a felt tip, but it will wear off. Okay. So you need it to be, you know, your permanent marker. And all you do is go over. Can I just say, don't do this on anodized aluminium. Okay. It won't come off. Okay. As I found when I was doing the stamping DVD, because it's made, the pores are open on anodized aluminium so that it will accept colour. Okay. So it accepts the permanent marker and it doesn't give it back. So, you know, apart from the anodized aluminium, this is great for all the other ones that we do. So just press into get right in. You can feel your grooves where you've actually made your stamped letter, and press your nib right in, because you want to get beyond the surface of your metal and you want to get right in.
So you're not actually just following around the letter, you're just kind of
dabbing
it in with a permanent marker, aren't you?
I'm dabbing it right in so that I get, and you might wipe that off and then go, actually that's not enough, and do it again. Yeah. So I'm actually
because
dabbing.
I'll be honest with you, at this point it looks a bit of a mess.
It does,
doesn't it?
Yeah, because it looks like, oh, I've ruined it now.
It does a little bit, yeah. It looks a bit scary as well, doesn't it? Let me show you.
With it.
It does. It looks a bit, well, I can't read that at all now. What have I done this for? But you want it like that, I presume. I hope.
Don't just kind of go over the top. Don't sweep your marker over the top. You need to get into your indentations.
Really get in the grooves.
Get right into the grooves with your permanent marker. It doesn't have to be black. Yeah. It can be whatever colour you want. Black tends to last. Now, all I've got here is some methylated spirits that you can get from any DIY shop. They always will have your safety cap on. And can you make sure that you do it in a well-ventilated room, because it's quite fumy. So we've got lots of space in here, so we're fine. I usually have found that a piece of kitchen roll is great for this. Better than tissues, better than cotton wool. Right. Kitchen roll does the job.
Just a bit of folded up.
Folded up kitchen roll. Okay. Get some of your meths on there. I'm just going to put the lid back on so that I don't release the fumes into the studio. And then just take it across the top.
So you're not putting loads of pressure on that, you're literally just sort of brushing it.
Really quite gently.
And that's actually taken off that mark from where you stamped it earlier?
Yeah, that's taken off.
As quick as that?
Now you might think, oh actually it's come off of the I, or it's not really in the W. Just do it again. You'll see that some of your indentations as you stamp are deeper than others. Yeah. And you need to do that dabbing, that pressing. Or if you use liver of sulphur, obviously it's easier, or some sort of patina, because then you can get your wire wool or your reliefing block or your sandpaper and come over the top, and it will take it off of your top layer and leave it in your grooves. Yeah. But not everybody is confident with those mediums. Not everybody wants to buy a specialist thing. You can buy a permanent marker quite inexpensively, can't you, anywhere, and you've often got one of those hanging around. So I found this was quite a nice, affordable way, especially if you're starting, to not actually have to buy any other special patinas or tools, and it just makes your letters stand out. But they're equally as nice without putting any patina on. Depending on what you're stamping onto, you might want a little bit more of a subtle look to your letters. You might not want, you know, a big bold statement. I've put black in because I want you to be able to see it over the camera. Yeah. But you can use whatever colour you wanted. You could use, you know, they come in all different colours, don't they, those permanent markers?
Yeah, they do.
You can get them in all, we've got them on the website.
Fab. So which bit are we looking at next?
Right, so you've made your pendant, and then all you need to do from then on is sort of piece your design together. So what I decided would be really nice is to have my Make-A-Wish, to have my little stars, because you get these gorgeous stars in the kit, to have them coming down. So again, back to there's no drilling, there's no messing about. I'm just going to make holes in my bottom 3 little star prongs.
And this is to get the jump rings through. So are you going for the larger hole now, or is this still the small one?
I've gone for the small one.
Brilliant. So the jump rings in this kit go through the small hole on that. Fab.
They really do. And I quite like those jump rings as well, because you can kind of make a little feature. If you're a chainmail person, you could make some sort of little chainmail links to go in between your stars and your hearts. Just be careful that with this you're not too near the sides, or else you will fracture the side of your metal and your hole will.
In fact, you were saying then about doing a bit of chainmail. On this design, you could actually add in a bit of chainmail on these links here, couldn't you? In fact, you've almost sort of given a nod to it in some of these link sections.
I have.
But you could go to town with it, couldn't you?
You
could really do some of those standard weaves.
I think if you want to add some of the metal colour in between your beads and your gemstones, then you can use those anodized, and you can use your alcohol inks and things like that on the aluminium to give it a colour. So you might want to do your letters pink and add a bit of pink. You know, it's up to you.
Yeah, fab.
So I've done 3 holes there, and then all I did was take some of my chain that you get in with your kit, and I wanted to have a long one in the middle and 2 slightly shorter ones either side. So the best way on this chain, in my opinion, to cut it is to just snip it off and pull it apart. So decide how long you want your middle one to be, and then have a little play and see where you want your second one. Remember that your anodized jump rings are quite large, so they'll make your drops a little bit more. And so these need to be the same. So how I would get that was I would usually just, again, you can use a ruler if you're that sort of jewellery maker. Am I still in shot? Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a little measure.
Just to let you know that the Stampin' Essentials are back up on your screen now. That was the hammer, the block, and the original hole punch.
It's quite exciting today, isn't it?
Really exciting. We've got new goodies all over the place.
I didn't know. It was a surprise. It's great.
Surprise!
We've got new stamps. Where are they?
I know. Amazing. $14.95 for all of that. So that's what we use the whole.
So I've gone for that kind of, you know, that Make a Wish shooting star kind of vibe. Gone for that. So I've got 3 pieces of chain, and then all I have to do, and I absolutely love these little stars, is pop them onto one of my pins that you get in with your head pin, whatever, eye pins. Again, I always say that if you can do a wrap loop, if that's within your skill set, I would go for it, because it's just adds to the security of your piece.
Yeah.
But don't worry if you're not, that's fine, that will come later. You can just do a basic loop. If you are starting off wrapping your loops, you know, you get carried away, you wrap it before you've attached it to anything. We've all done that. Still do that if I'm not concentrating. And just pop it to the bottom of your chain. I usually hold it in my pliers, and like I said before, if you get the look that you want and it's secure, then you've done it right.
Okay, good.
Because I think most of us guest designers do things slightly differently.
Yeah.
That's the nature of the beast. It doesn't mean that one of us is wrong and one of us is right necessarily. It's just
different.
It's how you do it.
Different strokes.
So you don't want to get
different
stressed, because
strokes.
jewellery making is fun and it's lovely, and if it works for you, then good.
Snipping that.
Snipping without leaning forward.
It's all right, don't worry.
There we go. And then all you need to do with those then is add your pieces on. And I use these, but you know, you can use whichever ones you want to, but I think these are nice as well, because they give a bit of a feature because they're quite large. They're also quite easy to use. Opening your jump rings away from each other like a door, so that you don't want to weaken your metal, and also it's really difficult to get your circular shape back again if you start pulling it apart. Pop it on, as you can see, that goes really easily, and they're not thin jump rings. They go really easily through your smallest hole made with your smallest mandrel. Make sure you've done that up again, so that then you've got that sort of effect. You might want to leave it at that, you might want it to be shorter, and then all you do is add your other 2 in exactly the same way.
And that's how you get this gorgeous look. And again, jump ring through the top, and you've just added on a little flourish of wire.
A flourish of wire, you could just put that on a chain, couldn't you?
Yeah, yeah. It's absolutely stunning design.
But I think it's all about what you do with your stamps, which we've tried to show.
Yeah.
And the rest of the design is up to you, what you want to do with your stamps.
And we're going to show you how to do more stamping in a little bit as well. I'm bringing these to you now. Why? Because I can. Numbers and punctuation stamps. Now, we were talking about dates before.
Yeah.
Birthdays.
Yeah. 21st,
wedding
18th,
days.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. The dates of weddings, the dates you met people. Yeah. It's a real personal thing, that, isn't it?
It's also and also things like phone numbers. You know, you can make your own dog tag. You can make a medical, somebody suggested a long time ago that with the medical bracelets, you could make a pretty one.
Yeah,
you know, if you need an emergency contact, if you need your diabetic number or whatever on there, you can use these.
Very, very
Why does it have
plan.
to be, you know, it can be pretty, make it into jewellery.
£6.95.
Wow, that's good, isn't it?
The thing with this is you can do the numbers, and you absolutely can. It can be quite a nice talking point, a date as well, can't it? Because people can say, oh, why is that date important? And then it can be quite a nice opener. Another thing with these though is you don't just have to use them as numbers. You can use them to create different textures. And in fact, I've done that with you before, haven't I?
Yeah, we've used you know, you could use a 7, but you can just put it all in the middle and make a circular shape. Anything that makes texture on metal, I think the more you get used to your metal, the more you want to find different ways to texture it. We can't all afford, as metal workers, a £3,000 rolling mill to put our metal through. And it's really, really nice to be able to add texture with these, fiddle with them, have a play, and see what you come up with, and then patina them more. You know, add a little bit of colour, see what you can do. It's a really fun way of making jewellery. It can, it can be practical. You can put the names on that you need and all the rest of it, but you can also, and in your wire as well, sometimes with your thicker wire you might want to just texture it rather than use your hammer. Use a number and just
keep
see
going.
how that looks.
The 8, I remember you doing the 8, and you did all the 8s just literally next to each other, and it gave this gorgeous chain.
It does. It looks like a snake.
It looks like, it's absolutely beautiful. Really gorgeous.
You can do all of that.
You've got a lot of different shapes in here as well. You've got your plus sign, you've got your exclamation, your pound mark, your question mark, you've got your quotations, your commas, your full stop. 25 left though. Once they're gone, they're gone. I'm sorry about that. We had way over 100. 19 left. Stay on the phone. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. I have got more stamps coming up for you later on, and we have got more stamps coming up in a different font for you later on, so stay where you are on the phone. Thank you for showing us that.
It's been such fun. It's lovely.
Such fun.
I hope everyone who's got it, wants them, have managed to get them, because they're such a good price.
We're going to have another font for you if you've missed out. We've still got about 50 of the lowercase and about 40 or so of the uppercase. So get yourself on the phone line. Second designer inspiration in a little bit.
It's a bit more me, that one, isn't it?
It's gorgeous.
I've gone a bit more metalwork, a bit more organic, just showing you a different way to use your blanks. You do not have to stamp on all of them. You can wire wrap them, you can add gems, you can texture them. I haven't used any tools that we haven't already shown you today with the hammer, so yeah, that's next.
Love it. Wonderful. Okay. Debbie K, you're an absolute love. Stay where you are. I've got more newness and so many gorgeous goodies. Stay where you are. You don't want to miss this. I'll see you after the break.
Join guest designer Louise Jacobson for our Wirework Rings DVD. This DVD contains a step-by-step guide on how to use a ring mandrel, create single and double stone rings, cluster rings and much more. Get the inspiration and help you need to create your very own handmade jewellery. To get your hands on a copy, contact our call centre. Get creative with Jewellery Maker.
If you miss a Jewellery Maker show, then simply go to our YouTube page, where you'll be able to find hours of Jewellery Maker footage. Search by show, date or type. Alternatively, search by guest designer by using our playlist page. You can also find hours of tutorials with handy hints and tips to give you inspiration. Our YouTube page is updated on a daily basis, so you can access any show at any time. Stay in touch with Jewellery Maker.
Moonstone is beautiful. It looks so stunning in bridal jewellery. Its iridescence just makes it such a different gemstone against anything else. When you're putting it into your own jewellery, you can put it in tiaras, you can put it in drop earrings, and it makes those pieces special.
One of the most fascinating things about Moonstone is, I think, its myth and legend, and whether it's a gemstone which is used for fertility or a gemstone which you give to loved ones, it's a fantastic gemstone to own, especially from JM, because of the natural qualities, the rainbow shimmer which you get from this amazing gem. And whether it's in nuggets or whether it's really, really highly faceted, whether it's a smaller carat weight or a larger carat weight, you're always guaranteed a superb example of the gem.
you make jewellery as a hobby? Would you like to learn key skills to help you successfully market and sell your handmade jewellery? We are working with Angela Edwards, who is an experienced jewellery maker as well as a small business trainer, to bring you the perfect course to help develop basic business skills. The full course includes how to create a business plan to successfully sell your products, how to access current and potential customers, how to identify and profile your target market, how to generate leads to secure current and future sales, how to use online social networking to your advantage, and key knowledge on legal requirements and insurances. For information about dates and to reserve your place, please contact 0800 644 655. Jewellery Maker, bringing out the designer in you.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're having a lovely Sunday afternoon. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, the phone lines have been going crazy today. There's still a bit of a queue. Don't worry, you know it's worth the wait. £9.95 for our new stamping collections. And I've got more coming up for you in a little bit. Do you want a sneaky peek of the new font? Go on then. Sneaky peek. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's gone. I know, I'm a nightmare. I have got some goodies coming up for you today. Brand new stamps, brand new hole punches as well for you. And price slashes of some of the most sought after gemstones in the world. Now, it's Beryl. It's multi-beryl. Heliodors, morganites, goshionites. Sorry, I'm laughing because Scott just went, we're gonna make nothing but friends with this price point. Telling you, I'll be completely straight with you. I saw this upstairs before and I saw the price point and I thought, wow, okay. That's a good price point. I looked back on the history and I'd seen that it had gone down and down a little bit more. We've got a handful left. I want to beat before's prices, so I'm going to today. This is going to be a never ever seen before low price, purely because I've got a few left. Okay, so this is quick in, quick out, get yourself on the phone. I'll tell you the truth, it should have been and has been sold at £25. £24.95, £25. That's what it was initially sold at numerous times. We didn't even do an opening price on this. That was the opening price. We didn't do a premiere price strand on this one. £24.95. That was the last time, that was the last price point that it was. The lowest price that it's been is £17.95. So that's the lowest it's ever been. I think it's only been that price once. The lowest price it's ever gone to, because I said it kept going down, down, down. Lowest price, £17.95. But I've got a couple of handful left. I'm going to beat 17, and I don't mean by 5p. Your price today, £14.95. You've got the most workable of the rounds. A lot of people say the 8mm is their favourite shape to work with. You've got Beryl, which essentially is one of the highest end families of all gemstones. I always think of it like the Joneses. It's the Joneses of the family. It really is. You've got morganite in that family. You've got emerald in that family. You've got heliodor, goshenite. You've got aquamarine. You've got plenty of aquamarine on this strand, actually. Beautiful. The graduation is, of course, in the colours as well, but it's wonderful that you could, if you wanted to, just pick out all the morganite. You could just pick out all of the aquamarine if you wanted to. I can tell you this for nothing, I've got more people with it in their baskets than I currently have available. It's a sellout. I've got 3 left, you've got 3 chances. Who's going to win? Dorset, Durham, Yorkshire, Midlands, Cambridgeshire. All of you people, there's loads more. I can't even get through you all. Some of you have missed out on that. I'm really sorry, but congratulations, lowest ever price. I knew it was going to go so far. This is that one that you and I came to a little bit of an agreement about, isn't it, Scott? No. Scott, sales manager Scott. He was in a very good mood this morning. Very good mood. I think it's because he was very excited about all the stamps and stuff today. He couldn't keep his hands off the stamps this morning, actually. He really couldn't, could he? He really couldn't. Whilst he was ridiculously busy and in a cracking mood, I just decided to spring something upon him about this. And it means that the price I'm going to bring to you is exceptional. Catch him off guard. That's very much the way I like to work. Catch him off guard, so they haven't got a clue what they're saying yes to, and then it's too late because I'm on live TV now. 45 carats worth of kyanite. Now, if you're not totally sure what kyanite is, it's this beautiful, stunning gemstone. It's gorgeous because you've got that depth of blue to it. It's also beautiful because of the internal texture. So the internal texture of this, you know, with a lot of gemstones, I'll say to you, you're looking for a symmetry and saturation. I say that quite a lot, don't I? You'll look at that saying, like your sapphires with this beautiful blue, you'd look for that in sapphire. In kyanite, you don't at all. You want these stripes, these areas of the depth, the deep, the denim blues, the sapphire blues, and then this area of almost clarity. It's kind of the way that you look, the way that you see the gem itself grown in a sense. Now, kyanite is known for having something that we called a perfect cleavage. Anywhere else, that'd be a good thing, but not when it comes to gemstones, I've got to be honest with you. Especially with this one. I've got for you a slide. Can you get that out for me, Ryan? You're absolute love. So, this to you looks, doesn't it, like one kyanite crystal or one area of the gem, or, you know, one piece of rough. Actually, can you see all of those areas that are kind of the grey areas, the kind of white areas? If any of those are even slightly brushed or even polished in the wrong way, that whole section of rough is waste. You would have 100% wastage on that, because every single one of those areas is a cleavage point. It is a weak point. Out of that piece of rough there, you will be lucky to get 10 carats worth of this gemstone out of that huge piece of rough. You've got 45 carats worth on this strand. I made a little deal with the lovely Scotty Bellotti bean. The price it should be, and has been, is £39.95. That's the price point that this has been sold at numerous times. Again though, it is a low stock opportunity. £39.95, it's been to screen minimum 6 times, can't remember exactly, minimum 6 times at £40. Lowest price ever seen, yet again. This is ridiculous. £19.95. That is half price kyanite, ladies and gentlemen. That is 50% off kyanite for you. £19.95. You've never seen it at this price before. Should have been 40. Today it's £19.95. Genuinely, I caught Scott off guard about this. I really, really did. Genuinely did. You've never seen this price. You haven't seen this price before. 45 carats worth I have got on this today. This is a seriously luxurious, exceptional strand. You've got that. Honestly, when you look at idyllic pieces of kyanite, this is the type of thing you're seeing. You're seeing these areas of the dark, the shade running through and amalgamating into that light oh so effortlessly. You're looking for these internal stripes. You can always see the crystal structure itself, can't you? Because in fact, when you look at some of these, can you see the areas where it goes into the light? It goes from the sapphire deep blue into the light. You see these stripes? If we have a look at that picture again that Ryan's just got up for me, those areas of the light you can actually see in the crystal formation itself, can't you? Avoiding the cleavage spots, those heat spots, those bad areas you do not want to be going against. The lighter areas that are the solid formation, the solid crystal form, that's what these stripes are. It's almost like you've got Mother Nature captivated within a gemstone here. It's truly exceptional. At half price, 50% off. £19.95. How many do I have left? have I already? I have a few left. A few. How many is few? 5 people haven't checked out. So I've got, am I in my last chance saloon on this? I've got a very small amount left. I have got a very, very, very small amount left. £19.95. Which, okay. Ooh, these drops. Moonstone drops. Elongated. Very pretty, quite ethereal actually. Do we know the sizing on these? 11 by 6 to 23 by 7. Boy, oh boy. That is a serious drop, isn't it? Do you want me to get a blackboard, to say? Let me grab one. Show you. 150 carats worth of this rainbow moonstone. What do you think of this strand, lovely Debbie Kay?
I love Moonstone. It's one of up there in my top 3. That's lovely shapes, isn't it? I think that, again, you can do lots with that. If you wanted to go understated, you could take the longest one and string it into a pendant, maybe some very soft wire work, and use the rest for 2 equal ones for earrings to match. If you wanted to be a bit more sort of bold in your design, then I would like to take sort of some of the smaller ones, maybe 6, 7, 8 of the smaller ones, put them on some wire and hang them down from a chain, so you've got that kind of waterfall effect, which you could use for a pendant or a couple from your ears. And it's like the jewellery I was saying to one of the ladies in the Sunday experience, that moves and catches the light, which I really like. And I think something like this, where you get your flashes within the gemstone, just lends itself to that kind of jewellery design, because the more you move, the more flashes, the different colours that you actually see within the gemstone. So yeah, that would be one of my sort of design choices for something like that, I think.
I totally can see that. Your price point today for this beautiful workable rainbow moonstone is £14.95. Okay, are you 25? Okay, are you 25? Oh, sort of asked many a boy in the past. That is your code today. 150 carats worth of your rainbow moonstone. Plenty of you getting your hands on this, because it's quite bridal, it's quite vintage, it's kind of all year round glamour, beauty. £14.95. Make sure you're checking out your basket for me today, lovely ladies, because it's a very, very pretty strand. 21 centimetre strand. Loads of ideas we've given you. Waterfall, drops, you've got earrings on this strand, you've got pendants on this strand as well. I've got a tool coming up for you now. It is the Interchangeable.
Oh, I've got that hammer.
Have you?
Yeah.
If you had a hammer, would you hammer in the morning?
You know what you have to think about, that who you're annoying. So you're going to think, yeah, if it's going to really get your husband out of bed, then yes, hammer in the morning.
Oh, hammer with 5 interchangeable heads. Well, you've got this one at home.
I have, yeah.
So tell us about it.
You know, it's a nice lightweight hammer, and you've got 5 interchangeable heads. Very easy. You just take off one of the sides and you put on whatever head you need for your pieces. I believe you've got sort of a nylon head on there, so that's a non-marking.
Yeah.
It is a lighter weight hammer, so you wouldn't be doing your heavy duty things, but I think if you do hammer your metal or your wire, then you do need an assortment of hammers. That's my excuse anyway. But I need assortment hammers for different things. And this is great for putting some intricate texture in, because you've got the different heads. You've also got quite a flat head as well, which gives a really nice texture. What I'd suggest is when you get it home, change your interchangeable heads, and then have a scrap piece of metal or wire and have a play with what textures you can come up with, and then you know what you're dealing with, and what you can apply them to your designs. But I found this really easy to carry around as well. I had a case left over from something else that I popped this in. Fits quite nicely in my toolbox, so if I need to hammer something, it doesn't make my toolbox really heavy, and it's not really cumbersome, so it's quite easy to use.
I'm just going to get all the heads out for you, actually. That's fine. You've got, you've got your nylon.
Yep.
You've got your nylon, which is your clear nylon one. So did you buy the Whammer the other day? because that's got the nylon head. That's one of the favourite things, plus points to it, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is a smaller one, so it's slightly easier to use if you're doing very intricate pieces. Or maybe you've got sections of wire between gemstones and you want to be very careful about which parts you texture or work carbon without hitting your gemstones, because you don't want to smash your gemstones. This is good for that.
Perfect, perfect for that. So you've got your point one. Tell me about this one that's kind of, it's almost graduated.
That's the one I was saying about. That gives you a nice sort of lines.
The lines get you.
It gives you lines within your metal. So what I did was I got a scrap piece of copper. I put each of my ends on, obviously apart from the nylon one because that doesn't make an indentation, and then I sort of did different textures. So if you forget and you want to use a texture, if you just keep that piece of metal with your hammer, you can remember what textures that hammer can produce. So again, that's sort of quite time effective for you sort of, again, wire, if you're a serious wire worker, this would be good for that, sort of your thicker wires. And then you've also got the nylon one that's not going to mark, so that's quite important with your coloured wires and things. It's a really handy little tool, this one.
How easy is that to interchange?
Yeah, it's not difficult.
That is, you're not fiddling about with any Allen keys or anything else. They're big and sort of sizable enough, aren't they, that you're not fiddling about. That's so simple. And then you've got the round head as well. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heads. Peculiar. This is your hammer with a number of interchangeable heads. Your price point today is tiny. £7.95 for you today. What a great deal for you. It truly, truly is. Give it a go. It's nice, it's lightweight. And actually, do you know what this would fit in? Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Would it fit in like, you know, your mandrel bag or your carry bags or your
ring mandrel bag? It fits in your little pouch. And yeah, I put mine in because I had a spare one. I put mine in there, and I've actually got it in my toolbox that I bring here, because you sort of don't know always what's going to be in the drawers, what's being used, what isn't. So it's quite nice to have your own stash of tools, I think. So if you get an idea, you can go and get it. But when they're bulky, that's, you know, you'd end up having to bring a lorry with you. So this is really good for if you go into sort of your beading classes or getting together with the girls and doing that. It's quite a handy tool to have to carry around with you. You know, when you go on holiday and you have to take stuff. It's good. That's
wonderful.
That. Yeah.
Wonderful. Get your hands in it whilst you can. £7.95. Check out your basket. Strong that. Oh, I felt a bit like a judge then. Order. Did I? Was that quite strong? Order. Do check out your baskets for me, because I've got something else a little bit sneaky coming up for you. It's back. Back again. Tote bag's back. Tell your friends. This is our Jewellery Maker tote bag that I have coming up for you now. If you haven't seen it before, let's have Speedy Gonzalez whip around, shall we? Ready? Steady, go. Pockets, huge pockets. Another smaller pocket, turn around into the side. You've got, this is so useful. This is kind of like got a clip on it that you can attach strands onto there, keys onto there, you can attach cameras onto there and then loop it back on. You've got hidden zip, took me ages to find this, hidden zip, loads in there, polymer blocks you can keep in there. You've got 2 more of these huge pockets, and then the same on the other side with your large size zip. In the middle, you've got these huge pocketed areas, and you've got these little loops of, what's it? Like twisted fabric. Now, you can't see those because it's dark in here and the light's not quite right, but basically, it's a piece of fabric that is interlooped and interwoven. So you can put in there things like your hammer, things like, let me show you, I wonder if you'll be able to see this now. Things like your hammers, things like your tools, you can fit through the pockets. Can you see that a little bit better now, over here? Can you see that that's looping through one of those pockets? You've got loads of these little links all the way around, so you can have all of your tools just lined up in there. You've also got that centre section too, which you can just stock up all of your goodies in here. You've got an ergonomic designed handle. It won't cut into your hand like, say, your Bag for Life. So, you know those? Oh, they hurt, don't they? If you've got loads and loads of food in a Bag for Life, and you do that marathon walk from the car to your front door with every, oh, it's horrible. With this, you've not got the problem. It doesn't cut into your hand or anything. And you also have the over-the-shoulder adjustable handle as well, which actually means you can have one on one side, one on the other, two over yourself, one in each hand. You're ready. You've got everything probably in one trip for your craft store or wherever it might be going. GNZX42, your price today, £17.95 for you. It's a wonderful deal. And also, we always say with this, you know, if you are a jewellery maker, I'm sure you've got loads of other hobbies as well. Perhaps you're into things like your gardening, perhaps you're into, you know, your card making or your memory books, your other types of crafts. You can keep things like that in here too. You absolutely can. What about if you are going, you know, doing a bit of gardening? You've got spaces for your tools. You've got areas in here because it is washable as well. It is cleanable. So it doesn't matter if it gets a little bit scuffed up. It's really, really durable as well. So you don't have to have any issues with this. You can take it wherever you want. And it's £17.95. You've got our logo on it, our stamp of approval. You know that you can trust us. £17.95 for you today. GNZX42. Do you have one? I know you do.
It's here. Where is it?
Because this morning, when I was walking over, I went, would you like a hand with anything? Didn't I?
Do you know what I love about these? They're rainbow, they're a lovely colour. You can hold them in your hand or you can put them on your shoulder. They've got lots of pockets and you really can get in there to get, you know, your bits and pieces without having to sort of dive in and get lost, you know, in the bag. It's really good.
Do you know what I love about them? This morning when I saw you getting out of your car and you had another box and I walked over slightly slowly, just waiting to see if any more was to come out. And then as soon as I saw this, I knew, yes, I'm not going to have to help her because she's got loads of space in there. Brilliant. So I just sort of, once she had everything out and just as she put this on her shoulder, I went, would you like any help? Like, no, you're ready. You're ready to go. It's perfect. £17.95 on this bag for you today. Get it whilst you can. One of our very, very popular goodies. Pretty pop of Zetrus hue. When I say to you, Peridot, let's play 3 words, Debbie K, I've not worked with you in ages. When's the last time we played 3 words? Yonks.
A long time ago.
Long time.
Yeah.
3 words that pop to your mind when you hear or see Peridot.
Zesty.
Zesty, definitely. Real line bursts in here.
Zesty, yeah. Green.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a very, very vibrant green.
Oh, they're faceted. Faceted would be the other one. Wow. They really can. They're like little dewdrops, little raindrops. Oh, they're gorgeous.
It's unusual to see that, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is unusual to see faceted. That's really, really unusual to see faceted. It's definitely faceted. It's beautifully high shine. It's got that gorgeous green, like you said, as well to it. And what I adore is the facets work on this so well because it gives you that intensity and that dispersion of light that gives you this phenomenal glow.
They're lovely. They look really expensive.
Yeah.
I can imagine those in a piece. Would be nice with your rose gold or your copper, your antique gold. It would give a lovely high-end appearance to the jewellery that you made. I mean, even if you just took one of those and dropped it down at the end of a chain for 2 for an earring, for earrings, they look really high-end, don't they?
That's exceptional, aren't they? The thing with Peridot as well, that I think this goes to show perfectly, is the fact that back when we kind of found this gemstone, it was mined on an island that was called Topazius, it was called. It's changed its name, it's called St Stephen's or something like that, St John's Island, I think. And when we found this in the first location, they actually believed that you could only get this gemstone at night time because they believed that in the day it was totally invisible because it was out collecting light and energy, and they believed that it glowed at night, glowed in the dark, so that was the only time you could mine it. And with quality like this, you can 100% understand why they might believe that. Look at the glow on this, look at that fire. That is intensity in the extreme. With Peridot, you're looking for that fire, that brilliance, that internal glow. The fact that you've got clarity on top of that, you have got saturation unrivaled, you have got the archetypal hue as well. You're ticking all the boxes in your mind on this one. Now, this is really, really high quality. It's a really, really high quality gemstone. You can see that. I would even go as far as to suggest this could be kind of the collector's choice type of band of your gemstones. It is that high end, isn't it? It really is. And when we say that, it's because it's ticking so many of those boxes that you're looking for with this, that you know it's definitely a positive. It is a collector's choice. I've just had that confirmed. It is a collector's choice gemstone. I knew it was. I knew it must have been, because look at it. Everything that you could possibly want in the idyllic version of this gemstone, you have here. Your price today on our collector's choice, £29.95. That is astonishing. This is collector's choice. If you're a connoisseur, you're the people who've already bought this. You're the people who've already checked it out of your baskets. It's got clarity that is unrivaled. It has got a hue that is archetypal for this gemstone. The saturation is increasing. It's symmetrical. It goes through each gemstone perfectly. It's exquisite. The workmanship on each and every single one of these, especially for the size. You've got a great sizing in there from 5x4 to 10x4 mil. You've got that glow, that fire, that brilliance, that sparkle, that fresh zestiness. ZXY 17. If you were to work with these, what would you do with them, Debbie Kay? Because I keep seeing your eyes just flashing.
I like them clumped together like that, I have to say. And I do like my green with my purple. I'm a bit into green and purple at the minute. So I'm thinking like maybe little clumps with maybe some round gemstones. Nothing too fussy. I don't think it would need it. Or you could just put your metal in between little round beads and either have that around your neckline piece or a bracelet. So I suppose you're not being conservative with them. You're using lots, but I do tend to quite like to do that. Yeah. But as I say, you can always take one and hang it on the bottom of a chain for your earring if you wanted to make them go a long way.
Yes.
Depending, but I think I'd quite like to clump them together and have some round gemstones in between. I think that would look ever so pretty.
If you were to use this with stamping as well, because obviously it's the stamping show, how would you work these into one of those designs?
That would be lovely to, you know, one of the round discs. You'll see in a minute, I've got sort of a round disc here. If you made a hole in the bottom, you could hang them down as drops, couldn't you? And they'd really catch the light.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that idea. Would you work it with antiques bronze?
Yeah, I think I'd work it with antique bronze. It's very versatile, isn't it, that colour? Oh, yeah. So if you wanted to go fresher, you could use your silvers even. I always think when I see this colour green that it's quite vintage. You could kind of go a bit steampunky, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
It would be upmarket steampunk though with this strand, I think.
Absolutely. I adore that idea. Thank you for that. Sorry, Helena, I couldn't hear you then, sweet pea. What number did you say? Fabulous. Ooh. Oh, do you know what? This would go great with that Moonstone that we had on earlier. If you managed to get that the sellout of the Beryl, this would go beautifully with that as well. It's your coated quartz that we have here. These are organic. These are really, really special. Now, I just want to make you aware, I know sometimes I let you know that coating is something we do on certain gemstones just to add a little something, a little je ne sais quoi that we perhaps could not get from Mother Nature herself. But it's really important to let you know that a coating is what it says. It is just a coating. This is not a paint. We're not hiding anything. And this gemstone strand depicts that perfectly because look at the transparency within this. You can see absolute clearly through this. 165 carats worth of this coated quartz. They're described as your plain ovals, but I'm not sure I would actually totally agree with that because plain ovals, I'm thinking there's a symmetry to the shape, but I've got triangular shapes, I've got really organic pebble-like shapes in here. It's really nice, got a bit of a boho feel to it, but then also with that kind of nighttime glamour. Because it is that clear quartz and because it has got that clearish coating on it as well, really would be a chameleon, this one, wouldn't it? You can pair this with absolutely anything and it's going to work wonders. They are around 14 by 9 to 24 by 19. if we did manage to get that Beryl before, I can see that. Can you see it pairing together? And that's what I mean. Look at the clarity on this. You can even see that aquamarine and that morganite peeping through but behind. And that means you're going to be able to pair this with absolutely anything you've got your hands on. It is quite an unusual shape, isn't it? Every single one is unique and different. So let's ask an expert. For someone who's maybe not used to working with such organic shapes, what would you suggest maybe trying out, or maybe, you know, pairing with these for a first time go at working with something so unusual?
You can always just take some small rounds, you know, 6mm rounds, 4mm rounds. You could get some of our spacer beads, say silver, whatever colour you're going to work with, and just put them in between, so that, and that would just be a necklace in itself, restranding with some spacers. What's really nice with these, if you wanted to use one at a time, because you can see through them, if you use some coloured wire, you'd be able to see the wire through the gemstone. So you could make a ring with one of those, you could make a pendant, you could make earrings by just actually putting your coloured wire through and looping at both ends. So I don't think you need to be scared of larger strands like this, because if you're not a statement jewellery kind of person like I am, you can use them one at a time, can't you?
Absolutely, for just a delicate little touch.
Just for a touch, yeah, amongst other sort of round, smaller gemstones, and one would be a nice ring, I think.
I've just been told that we're going to do something a little bit special on the price. Okay, this has just been decided, so I haven't got a clue what's about to happen. So, should be price is £14.95. Yeah, I thought that's what we were going to be doing it at, but we're not. Okay, where are we going on this? Should have been nearly £15. Oh no, you didn't. £7.95. Wait, I got told this was going to be £14.95. We brushed through it before. Yeah, £14.95, £15. Absolutely fine. That's what the price it's always been. That's the price it's been all this time. £7.95 for all of these. Wait, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 I've got on my strand. So how much is that per one? Because these are huge. These are sizable, up to 2.5 centimetres. These only 53p. Okay, let's even go on the smallest one, shall we? The smallest one I can find is this one here. That's a ring, isn't it? That's a ring size. Perfect. Even if you turned it on its side, that'd be gorgeous, actually. What price are we thinking? Little bit of wire wrapping, genuine gemstone. Even if you're doing mates rates, what, £5?
And the rest, but yeah, okay.
Easily though, really easily, you know, no haggling needed at that price, is it? So essentially, you've got the opportunity, even if we just kept all of these like that, of course, the middle three, you'd want to do a pendant, so we're heading more close to the £15, £20 each then, aren't we? The money making possibilities on this are absolutely astonishing. Let's say it was rings up until the middle one, so that'd be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, ignore the middle three, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, and then you've got what, £40 worth, £50 worth in the middle three from pendants alone. That is astonishing, but you're actually only buying them for just over 50p each. Your face, Debbie.
Well, you know what? There's a bead
shop.
Like
you're sucking on a lemon then.
There's a bead shop near me, and it is no longer. And I'm not really surprised that it isn't any longer, because it was expensive. And they used to have plastic beads in the, you know, in the trays, and they were 50p, the bigger ones, and they were plastic. They weren't even a gemstone. It's like a piece of plastic, like a green plastic heart, was 50p. And you're getting a gemstone. I love that. It's much better.
Isn't it? It's so much more stunning. And in fact, pair it, perhaps, with something a bit substantial. What do you think of that?
What is that? It's beautiful.
It is the most exquisite strand of retail quartz I think you've possibly ever seen.
Wow.
Look at this. Wow.
Look at the shape of it as well. The shape is gorgeous.
We're looking at the shape, the size and the quality of something almost unparalleled actually before with this. Genuinely, look at the size of this piece in the centre. 23mm. That as a pendant alone is done, isn't it? It's like the heart of the ocean, isn't it?
It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Retail quartz, if you've never ever seen this before, You can actually, it's quite hard actually to get retail quartz that you can see so beautifully. The structure of it is this, because a lot of the time when we do them, we might do quite small rounds, but because they're round, because they're quite small, it's quite hard to see kind of how these rutilations travel through them. But with this, there is no mistaking. Each one of these jets of that rutile, that black, that thorn-like internal structure, doesn't just run on the surface, it jets internally, it covers every crystal structure. It is a stunning example of that gemstone. They are faceted to perfection. Oh my goodness, imagine one of these. Did you get yesterday that ametrine strand I had on? If you did, then these will pair spectacularly, especially with Alison, and she did that beautiful ring, didn't she? You could recreate that look so seamlessly with these. In rutile quartz, it's quite unlike a lot of gemstones, I suppose. With certain gems, we're looking for clarity, aren't we? Not with rutile quartz. With rutile quartz, you're looking for these beautiful inclusions, these jets, these darts, these shards, these thorns internally of that rutile. And you do have plenty of that. I've just been told I've only got 25 though. Better get your price in then. Better get your price in. I've only got 25 of these. Last chance to purchase, £27.95. I've only got 25 left. 200 carats worth of this black rutile quartz in the faceted large drops. Absolutely beautiful selection. If you were to work with these, I doubt you'd have to do much, but what would you think of doing, WK?
They're quality, aren't they?
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything like that before. They've just got it right with this strand.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to do much, to be honest. I think I'd want it like that. I mean, yeah, you could take the central stone, most certainly, and have that as the bottom part of either a single design or quite an intricate design. A lot of people have been asking me about, we got on the subject last time I was on, of beaded sort of cuff necklaces.
Yeah.
Bibs.
Bibs, yeah, the bibs.
It would be, and you could have those, a few of those in a bib. That would be really pretty. I'd want to use them together, I think, but then I'm that sort of jewellery maker, I like to make a statement. But the way they've been faceted and cut to show off the stone is genius for this one. It would be, I think, one of those ones that was in the special box waiting for the perfect design. And I'd get them out and probably wait for that perfect design, and the jewellery would probably be for me.
I love that idea. It's just for me. Look though at each single side of this. You can see how spectacular this is. Genuinely, this is craftsmanship. This is kind of one of those strands, you know, where skilled craftsmanship, an eye for detail, and Mother Nature just come together and work exquisitely together. You're not looking at this and thinking, oh gosh, Mother Nature's done her job, that's great, but oh, I wish the lapidress had faceted them more.
Yeah.
That you're not thinking that at all. You're thinking, boy oh boy, Mother Nature's done a corker of a job with this. That is stunning example of rutile quartz. And wow, hasn't the lapidress done it justice?
Yeah.
Just showing all of those sparkles from the facets, how the light hits the facets of the lapidress, and then your eye gets drawn into Mother Nature's work internally.
Yeah, it's the perfect collection of all of those things put together. And yeah, it caught my eye. And obviously, we see a lot of gemstones, don't we, when we're on?
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen anything like that before.
No.
It's really, really beautiful.
It is stunning, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm right over here. And I went, what's that? My ears pricked up straight away. Oh, I need that.
I absolutely adore it. I think as well, if you wanted to do individual pendants, you could.
Yeah.
And it also, what about the end ones? It's like little charms just on a bracelet.
If you had one of the smaller ones, certainly.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even want to put too much wire in that because it's so beautiful. You could just sort of make a wire bail and put it on. It would be gorgeous.
Absolutely beautiful, wouldn't it? Last chance to purchase it right now though at £27.95. It's exquisite, it's sublime, and it's yours for a bargain price. Okie pokely. This is your wax wire comb. Let's have a little look at this. It's your original wax wire comb. This is perfect for making those loops, making those tassel ends. All you have to do very, very simply is you pop your wire through, give the handle a quick spin, and it makes a beautiful, professional finished conical cone. Have we got that VT, Ryan? Bear with. Here it is then.
So insert your wire through the hole in the end of the nib and just bend it up, like so. Then start gently to turn the handle, but make sure that the first one is quite loose because you need to trim it off and essentially get the cone off at the end. Then just gently twist and guide your wire so that the coils sit nice and close together. And then this is a 1mm gauge wire. You can do it with smaller gauges, but this is a nice sturdy one. And these coils are really good for hiding the edges of necklaces where you've got a number of strands together and you just want to tuck them in and make them look more professional. So keep twisting until you have a complete cone, and then trim off the wire and cut through the first loop. There we go. Then gently use your cutters to tidy up the coil. And there you have your Y cone.
Easy peasy, isn't it? Camera Lady Maggie, who doesn't generally work on this channel, blown away, I think it's safe to say. What was your idea? What was your idea?
Little Christmas angels.
Little Christmas angels.
But well, you could do anything with that, couldn't you? Really?
Couldn't you?
The world would be my oyster.
The world would be Maggie's oyster with this, she says. It is, it's a great little tool. It's super simple, made, created, designed in the UK. It's yours today for just, it's £7.95 for you today. QBWG27, your Wags Y cone. This is our original size. It's super easy. You can use loads of different gauges on this as well. You know, you can use your 0.6, 8, 1 mil. You can go and use lots of different varieties, which will give you really different looks. Do you kumihimo? Do you sometimes need to have those end caps? Because let's face it, kumihimo, there is a bit of a selection of cap ends, but there's really not a massive variety. Is there? We do a few, but there's not that many. But with this, you can make your own cord ends, which means then you can attach a clasp, and then your kumihimo sorted. All you have to do is glue it in. Easy peasy. £7.95 for you today. Get your hands on it whilst you can. Designer inspiration kit. Now, I've got something special now. I'm going to let you know this. I've got a tiny, very small amount of this kit. And I'll be honest with you, it's all due to one thing. The blanks. Now, the reason I've got so few a quantity of this kit is because of these blanks, and because these are the only antiques bronze blanks we have. Only. If you want antiques bronze to create these gorgeous looks, this is the only way you can get your hands on it today. Beautiful selection on here. You're getting 5 of these squares, and you'll be getting 5 of the circles. Now, I cannot tell you enough, because I'm sure people now are going, oh yeah, I really like those, let me get online and buy those separately. You cannot do it, I'm afraid. They've all been put into this bundle because we haven't got any other antiques bronze at the moment. It's your only chance to get your hands on it if this is the look you're going for, if you're looking for the vintage look, if you're looking for the bridal, if you're looking for that antiquity look, that ageless, timeless, then this is the one for you. I've also got beautiful colour match, your Antiques Bronze finding pack as well. 115 findings in here, and that is including that meter's worth of chain and the relatively new earring findings as well, which I think are fab. They're quite funky and modern, but they've got a touch of the Art Deco, which I realise is a bit of a juxtaposition, but you know exactly what I mean. You do know. Look at these. These are the new earring findings that we've got here. Give you a really dramatic effect with them. Really streamlined, beautifully smooth. You've got lots of selections of clasps in there as well, including those featherweight head pins, which are the really, really thin head pins, which means you can get your pearls on there generally without a problem. And sometimes those really high-end gem distinction strands that you can't get onto other wires, you should be able to with this. You've also got in here your selection of jump rings, your jump ring matrix. This is exciting. I've not been able to bring this to you before. Have a look. Now, we've got in here your jump rings. Now, I just want to triply check. Yes, we have definitely. We're going to be getting 5 of each of these different shapes in here. That's beautiful. Rose gold plating on these. Rose gold plated on these. So you've got your square shape. You've got your triangular shape. You've got your hexagonal as well. Don't forget 5 of each. You've got your large rounds. You've got your large rounds. You've got these oval shapes. You've got your really tiny, delicate, you've got a real selection of these. I think you've got 15 of these ones. And you've also got your textured large ovals as well. So beautiful variety in this matrix box. Great selection as well. I'm not stopping there. 0.4 in the copper coloured wire that we have here. Now, although, you know, we've got sort of the copper colouring, the kind of antiquey colouring running through all of this, the gemstones themselves have got a totally different feel, haven't they? They really, really do. 0.4. Now, let me show you these gems because I know which one, I don't know which one to start with. Normally I'll start with one that I'm like, oh, that's exciting, that's good, and then I'll save the best till last, but I really don't know with this one. There's such a beautiful variety and some genuinely unique gems as well. Take a look. Rose quartz I'm starting off with. Isn't that beautiful? This is 210 carats worth of your rose quartz in these drop style chips. They look like little drops of femininity, don't they? They really, really do. 9 by 8 to 14 by 10. I've also got one locational, stunning Larimar for you. When we say one locational, it does what it says on the tin. We can only get this from one area in the world. Very much like Tanzanite. Tanzanite we can only mine at the foot of Kilimanjaro, and it's a 16 square kilometre area in which we mine for that. 16 square kilometres for Tanzanite. For Larimar, 1 square kilometre. So much smaller area, so much smaller area. Really, real massive rarity. It's amazing actually that you're able to get this much on a strand. And then finally, what did you think when you saw your starlight?
Well, this kit was, I didn't put it together, but it couldn't have been better put together for my style of jewellery making, because what I've actually made is my style of jewellery making. And these sort of nuggets, I know, would they be classed as nuggets, sort of larger nuggets?
Yeah, they are.
They're fantastic because they're all different.
Carats worth drop style chips, they're called.
Oh, okay. Well, they're all different shapes and sizes, which means that you can use them for different looks within your designs. So, you know, it was just, all the designs were just coming into my head at once, really, of what I could do with these 3 that go together so beautifully. So I was a bit spoilt with this one, I think.
And why not? Why not? Now, I've already let you know I've got low quantity. It's absolutely true. Normally, you'll know for designer inspiration, we like to start off with triple figures. That's not the case today, I'm afraid. 3 strands of stunning gemstone. You've got 10 meters of your 0.4. You've got that jump ring selection matrix box. 5 of each shape and then 15 of the smaller rounds. You've got your findings pack on top of that, and you also have those blanks. Don't forget, it's the only place right here, right now, to get those circular and square blanks in this colourway. So now's your opportunity to get them. For all of that, your price should be £39.10. We're not staying anywhere near that. I've already got people who've built it at that price. Don't worry, everyone pays the same today. It's not nearly £40. It's yours for £21.95. This is your time to buy right here, right now. This selection, this variety is astonishing. That is a massive price saving. That is a price slash of a huge amount. Only £21.95. 3 strand of genuine gemstones, 115 findings on top of that selection, the matrix box of jump rings, 10 meters of worth of your 0.4 wire, and 10 of these one and only place blanks. That's £17.15 off. £17.15 off. That's over 40% saving, isn't it? That's an amazing discount for you today. £21.95. Hello, lovely ladies and gents who are getting your hands on this today. If you are into stamping and you do want to give your pieces a bit of a different feel, a bit of a different touch, then this is your opportunity to do so. My number's going down very, very rapidly on this. Did start off with 80, but I've got a really low number already on this. With that price crash, I'm not surprised. When you think this is the only place you can get these from us at the moment, that's why. That's one of the reasons. You can't get this colourway with us at any other point, and you know our prices are astonishing. £17 off today. Over that is what you've got, so it's a massive amount for you today. 59 left. Take the new ones. Taking the stamps with me. Let me whistle on the walk.
Oh. Oh, it's a different font.
Oh.
They're lovely, aren't they?
New font coming up for you in a bit. Hello, love.
Hello.
Hello again.
Long time no see.
Long time. How is it?
Good.
How's the challenge?
Good, it's over here.
Oh, amazing.
It's in this bead tray.
Ooh, good.
It's a bead tray.
We've got our second designer inspiration for you now, and it is beautiful. This colourway with these rarest of rare gemstones is spectacular, isn't it?
It's just really, I went for a kind of boho vintage look, and also wanted to show what can be done with your blanks. You don't have to stamp on all of them. You don't have to just use one. You can use sort of a couple together. And knowing what I know about how much it costs to buy copper sheet, and then what hassle it takes to actually saw out your shapes, this is a fantastic way to use metal within your designs. And if you haven't used them before, very user-friendly and easy. Fab. So, you know, this kit was my favourite because it's got my favourite colours in. I absolutely love this colour blank, this colour findings. And I think you could do so much with it. I've gone for a bit of a statement piece. I still had loads of gemstones and things left, which you could make a whole suite of jewellery out of this if you wanted to. You've certainly got enough blanks in there to do it.
And don't forget, if you want these blanks, this is the only opportunity to do so. I've only got 52 of these left, and there are people still with it in their baskets, and there's still people on the phones for it. It's your dots and dashes, over £17 off. You've got serious amount of luxury here, and you've got your only chance to purchase as well with those blanks in this colourway. It's a stunning selection. And look at the designs, they're gorgeous, they're so beautiful. Where are we starting with these pieces? pieces?
Right, I thought that we've been through quite comprehensively, haven't we, how to stamp on.
Yeah.
So I thought just to take a different tack on how to put your blanks together to make a statement part of a necklace. Now again, same as with the stamping, you need to have a plan before you start, because your hole punch does actually feature quite strongly in this design, because you connect your metal blanks together in different ways, so you need to know where you're going to do that. So if I turn my necklace to actually face me.
Yeah,
so what I've done is I've laid out at first and played with different shapes of what I thought would be nice. So you could do them any way. You could put them in a line, in which case you'd need holes here to connect them. You could have them hanging down. I thought let's do something a little bit different. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is finalise your design. So that's where your sticky bead mat or your bead board come in handy, because this is where you are actually going to come up with your design. And then you're going to decide, once you've come up with your design, where you need to connect those together. And once you've done that, then it's a good idea to get the trusty marking pen out again and just pop some marks on there where you're going to need to make your holes. So I would say do this at once, make all of your holes, get everything prepped, get all your stamping done, and then you're just ready to assemble your necklace after that. Okay,
Brilliant.
So I sort of put these together and I decided where I wanted them to meet and where I wanted them to go together. So I wanted something hanging off the bottom, so I'm going to need a hole there. Again, if you want to be really precise about this, you can get your ruler out, that's absolutely fine, but I'm actually connecting it with wire, and wire is quite forgiving, so you don't have to worry too much. I would then need to attach my top ones to my bottom ones, which means I need a hole in both of those blanks. So I'm popping my pen marks here.
Yeah.
And then I would need to connect the area at the top together, so I've pen marks there. And then lastly, I would need to hang it round my neck, so I decided I would need holes there. So what you've done is you've prepped your design and you've actually marked onto your metal where you need your holes to be. And as I said earlier, don't worry about those marks, because they will come off later on if you want to use your methylated spirit or something similar to just rub over your blank. Don't worry about making your marks. And then you start to make your holes, where I've used the same hole punch as before. The difference being with these that you are making a lot of holes in one. And I would, once you've made your holes, place your blank back down how it's going to sit, so that you don't get lost and think, ah, it's like, you know, it's like the Krypton factor, I can't get these back together again.
Yeah.
So make sure that you make the holes. So I've shown you already how to do that. So I've got some here that I've already made the holes in.
Okay.
So can we see that? Yeah. So what I've done is then I've actually laid out my design as I think I want it to look when it's round my neck. Now this is always open to change. It's like anything. You start making, you think actually I'm going to add or take something away, but you have got your holes in the right places to be able to do that. So it's at this point where I'd actually worked out my design that I would stamp on my words. And what I did here, this was actually using the Impress art stamps I stamped on Once Upon a Time.
Okay.
Now if you look, they actually, I know they're the more expensive stamps, but if you put the upper and lower case, isn't that a lovely whimsical look about it? It's almost
really,
like,
really
you know, when you get those kind of prints that go on the wall and they have this kind of whimsical writing on. I really like the effect that those to the upper and lower case gave you.
Yeah,
so I did that, and then I decided that I was going to stamp a little star on. So also, if you've got the Impress art stamps, you do get a star.
They have the little star, don't
you get the star in that. And I did just use the star to go all over a disc for the bracelet, and then I just added some metal patina. So again, that's one stamp causing a really nice texture on your metal. So you've got that, and then you're basically ready to go. So you need your hammer and block.
Okay.
And this is where I would use the hammer that we were selling earlier.
The chase hammer.
The chase hammer, because once you have stamped onto your blank, your metal will distort. So you want to get it flat again so that it sits properly when it's round your neck. And all you need to do is actually use the flat part of your hammer and just give it a little tap until you've got your blank back as it was when you began. So it's nice and flat. If I show you from the side, there's no distortion there. I mean, in some of your designs you might want a little bit of distortion if you want to sort of make something a bit more fluid, but with this I wanted it to be flat. Also, I think it's quite nice on your edges. If you want to soften your edges of your metal blanks, you would use the ball end of your hammer and just hammer and push out at the same time on the edges. So what you're doing is you are adding a little bit of texture there, but you're also flattening the edges and making them nice and soft. This is good if you've cut out or changed the shape of your metal either with your snips or you've sawed it and it's not greatly neat, or it's sharp, where we usually go around the sandpaper or with the file. If you use your hammer, you can actually soften those edges and give a completely different texture. Now you can underline also your words by texturing. I think this would be where the other interchangeable hammer would come in really handy, because you've got a smaller head.
Yeah, and you've got that pointed, the straight one, haven't
so
you?
you're less likely to go over your stamped letters with your end, but it can be done with this, so that you're actually adding again.
Underlining. Just to let you know, the hammer, the block and the hole punch is at the bottom of your screen. Massive price reduction today, just $14.95.
And never underestimate the power of a polishing cloth, because especially with these, this copper comes up a treat. So I've got my well used, as you can see, polishing cloth here. And once you've finished with this, and you've maybe added your permanent marker to your lettering, maybe you haven't, it's up to you what you want your end piece to look like. If you polish it, these copper blanks come up absolutely beautiful. So I'll just give that a little polish and then I'll show you what kind of shine that you can achieve. Can you see that, how shiny I've made that?
That's super.
And that's just with a polishing cloth that you can get in any kind of, usually supermarket, or the jewellers do them for finished jewellery. But this is what the kind of different effects that you can get with your metal stamps. They don't have to stay as you buy them. You can actually make them high shine, or you can make them matte or dull. You can hammer texture into them, or you can keep them just the plain metal like these are. But I must say that these copper ones come up a treat.
They're really super
They
shiny,
really come up a treat if you want that high shiny effect.
It's that time of the day.
Okie dokie.
Brand spanking new stamps in a totally different font. Now, before everyone has a look, how would you describe this font? What kind of feel is this going to give you pieces?
Swirly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what though? It gives you quite an artistic feel, but in a really bold and easily read way.
Definitely
Doesn't
agree
it?
with that, 100%. What do you think at home? Take a look at this. This is your uppercase letter in your penguin font. It's described as your price today. £9.95 for you. Isn't that exceptional?
That's fantastic. Should we see what it looks like?
Yes,
stamped?
please. Right, what should we do? Let's do. Well, they're saying to me, do Wish again, but I was going to do Bex. Got my B, I've got my E.
Forget about the Wish.
Handy, because actually X is quite a good one.
It is, because you want to see what it looks like.
Yeah,
when it's
exactly,
stamped
because
down.
an X is a good one, isn't it? Because you can use it for kisses and stuff like that, can't you?
Yeah, you can use
and
kisses and texture.
Texture, exactly that.
So
I really want to see this.
let's get this down. And also, I need to stress again that when you're using these copper blanks,
Yeah.
they are a little bit harder.
Okay.
The copper as a metal is often harder, so you might need to just give it a bit more of a
Extra.
bash. But let's see, I haven't used these before, so let's have a look.
Okay.
Right,
There's a B.
I'm going to
your
start
X.
with my middle letter, like I
Yeah,
usually
your
would.
E.
I'm going to have a little think about how that's going to sit down on my metal, because I haven't got the letter imprinted on the side. Pop that into the centre. Let's give it a bash. Ooh!
Ooh!
Now let's try our B.
Oh, that is so nice. It's got a really delicate little kind of swirl, little zhuzh to it.
A little zhuzh.
Zhuzh. Love that word. Zhuzh.
Zhuzhy zhuzh.
Oh my gosh, that is absolutely adorable.
That's really nice, isn't it? And easily readable. Which is
Really,
important.
really legible. Really
Oh,
legible.
wow, okay, let's have a look at that.
love.
Yeah, look. So what you do is you get a little swirly kind of
How
on the
adorable is
end.
that?
Can you see on the X? That's quite a good example. Oh yes, you can see that really clearly. And the B, but you can still really see what that says.
Yeah,
Oh, I
you
like
can
that
see
fond
fine.
a lot. A fond.
Oh, are you
What's
fond of the
fond
font? fond of the font. Oh, I've only got 79 left of these, which is a bit of a shame because I've probably got about 35 of you with it in your baskets. And I'll queue on the phone 0800 644 655 for you today. I've also got, if I pop these back, this is a great, like we said before, we talked a lot about the carry case and how much thought and effort have gone into this, but also for texturing.
Yeah.
Can you still use letters to texture?
Yeah,
We've said the X.
You've got the
the ampersand,
symbol in here. But if you turned that sideways, it's really curly whirly. So you could write a word, and then sometimes you've got a bit of a space at the bottom of your stamp.
Can you?
I can. Do you want on the bottom of Bex?
Because just to let you know, the other kit, you know, the first font that we gave you had the ampersand, but even the ampersand, like the and sign, as it were, the ampersand in this one has a totally different look to the other one, doesn't it?
It does. And
even that has the swirl to it.
Now I've turned that sideways, and I don't think that you would be able to tell that wasn't a texture kind of little swirl.
That does look textured, doesn't it?
It's gone. I've just put it sort of upside down, so that sometimes you could do a ring of those around Bex, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Or if you didn't want that flat high shine finish, use that to texture it all over, or go right round the outside.
Like a little frame.
Yeah.
Or like, you know how they have cameos and they always have those swirly bits around the cameo.
So you could do that around the outside. I would suggest that you did that with a marker pen first if you were going to go quite intricate, so that you kept it, you know, nice and symmetrical, and then follow your lines, and again just take that off at the end with your white spirit. Definitely. But these are quite versatile, these ones, just by the nature of the font.
I absolutely adore.
I like these a lot. They're really
Do you know what
nice.
I've just noticed as well? You see there's a spare loop here. I know this is a really small point to make, but it is actually quite worth making. You know, you were saying maybe you've got your impress at home, and you use that star one of the impress all the time. There's actually a spare loop at the bottom here, so you could put like your heart shape, or your, you know, they do those really quirky hearts with the impress.
There's a bird, and there's ones on the website. I don't know if we've still got them. They're slightly larger, and they're a symbol. I've got the bird, which is like my favourite. I think you end up with your favourites. If you're going to add one little detail, you usually go for your favourite, don't you? Whether it's the heart or whatever it is. So you could actually fit that in.
There's a spare one in here. There's a spare loop, so you could pop that one in there. There's actually a spare little pocket for it, so you can carry your favourite one in there as well. Fab. I've only got 45 of these left in your upper case in the penguin font. Are we doing the lowercase in a bit? Or now? In a bit. Okay. Stay where you are on the phone lines for that. $9.95. I've got the lowercase in a moment. 44 left of that.
Right, so, and I'm just going to show you how I would put this together. So what I've done is I've laid it out on my board how I want it to look in my finished piece. Obviously that's my stamp piece that I've already done. And then I was thinking that some of these, which is great about these stones, is you get some quite flat ones. So I thought that might look really, really nice, actually wired onto my stamp, which is what I do with metal sheet, you know, and you don't have to have metal sheet, you can use these in a variety of ways. So if you just get some wire, and it's 0.4 in the kit, what I did, because I'm obviously, I have to stay with what's in the kit, I got 2 pieces of this and used my wire twister tool and I twisted, so that I ended up with a thicker bit, and it also looks really pretty and quite vintage to have a twisty bit of wire to add to your designs, so that you can use that to actually connect together. So I made a few lengths of those with my wire twister tool, but you can also do that with a 0.4 quite easily with your fingers, because it's not hard to do. So if you don't have that wire twisty tool, don't worry about that, that's all right. So actually made a hole in the middle where I wanted my gemstone to sit. Bring my wire up through the middle, and then add my gemstone on. And then in your findings kit you actually get these lovely silver spacer beads, and I often think it's these little touches that we get in our findings kits that actually make your designs, because they add your little finishing touches. That's going to be like your stopper bead, so if you've ever made fringing on bracelets you'll know what I'm talking about. And so then you take your wire back down through your Larimar, but not through your stopper, because that's going to act as your sort of little stopper bead that stops it falling off. So back down through your Larimar, and then back through the hole in the bottom, and pull it tight. So that now I've got that sitting on there.
So it's keeping it in place
as a feature,
and it's a little feature as well.
So, and then what I did was I just took my ends, fed them round the back, press down, because you don't really want that sitting against your skin and being uncomfortable. So press it down as much as you can so that it will sit flat, and then just feed it into the opposing holes and pull it tight. And if your hands won't do it, like if your hands, sometimes I struggle with my dexterity, or my hands like now are slippy, use pliers and just give it a little pull so that you're making that nice and tight. And then again, choose another anchor point, take it through. Now because it's 0.4, if this was 0.6 I'd probably leave it at 1. Okay. But because it's 0.4, I'd be more inclined to take it through twice just for added security, because you don't want it falling apart.
And that way you definitely know.
You definitely know that your piece is going to be secure and your gemstones aren't going to fall off. Now the beauty of having the hole punch tool that we've been using is that if you wanted to use thicker wire to go through this, then you could use the larger mandrel on your tool to make a larger hole. And even if you got to this point and thought, oh no, I can't get my wire through as many times as I need to, you can actually put that back in to the tool and just go over your hole with a bigger mandrel to make it bigger. So, you know, again, that's where that tool comes in very, very handy as you go along. So leaving it like that, pressing it in at the back. Once you've done your sort of couple of turns and you're really, really happy with the security, then you can trim off your wire. Now I did 2 of those.
So you're doing 2 at each side to really make sure. I need to let you know that people are missing out on this right now. Because I've got 3, 6, 9, well, I've got more than 26 people sat with it in their baskets, so someone's missing out. I know she has, Ryan. I know Patty Menorca's got it in a basket. I know. I know. He's not angry. He's just disappointed. No, seriously, guys, do check out your baskets because people have missed out. It could either be. It could be any one of you right now. Whoever checks out first will get it. But I'm going to bring to you now, though, because people have missed out on this. So I'm going to bring to you this lowercase now. How tootsy are they?
They're lovely, aren't they?
There's something about lowercase that I just think is...
They're like whimsical almost, aren't they?
Yeah, you're totally right. They absolutely are. Take a little look for yourself. This is your lowercase lettering. It's beautiful. $9.95 again, of course. That's your price today. What do we think of these ones, lovely lady?
Or again, they complement the other ones perfectly, don't they? So this is perfect for your once upon a time, like I've written on here, or your phrases, maybe. And they're also a good size. They don't look like they're too big, so that if you're actually working on these stamping blanks, then you'll be able to get quite a few words on there, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. You'll be able to get a fair few on there.
And I like the, again, that you've got a little bit of a different font, but you're not, it's not illegible, it's not sort of silly, swirly, so that you're kind of going, well, that's nice, but what does it say? There's nothing more annoying than that.
Absolutely. And again, you have got the whole of the alphabet on here. You've also got the ampersand. You've also got in here the carry case. If you've just tuned in, perhaps you're not used to seeing it. It's the beautiful high shine, really high quality casing here with the zip around it as well. And then outlined is the letters. I know, it's just so easy to see. It's so clear for you to see, isn't it?
Fabulous, yeah.
It is a fabulous, fabulous piece of kit. It truly, truly is. It's you know the prices out there. We brought the Impress Art to you earlier on. You know the price of those. It is obviously a completely different product in a way, in a sense it is, of course. But if you've been one of those people who've been looking at those Impress stamps, let's face it, $39.95 for a first time. If you've never tried stamping before, it's quite a high price point to delve into something new that you might not know how much you're going to love it or not. But at this price point, you've got the opportunity now. I've got 30 of these left now. I'm in my last chance saloon. I've probably got about 30 of you, 40 of you, maybe even more, with it in your baskets. Again, people are going to miss out on this, I'm afraid. Stay on the phone lines, check out your baskets. Lowercase for you now on these beautiful, beautiful letters. It's going to be a sellout, we know that already. £9.95. I've got 16 of these left for you. Loads and loads of you with it in your baskets. Last chance to get your hands on it. It's beautiful, your penguin font hole No, your penguin, font, letter, punch, stamping set.
That's a mouthful. Penguin.
Speaking though of hole punches, I've got these coming up. Which one are we doing first? The 3.2, so the largest.
Ah, this is the new one.
Oh.
Oh, and what's the other one for? Wow, that's brilliant.
Can you punch with these for me?
It's another
Can I
version of
see?
my favourite tool. Of course I can, and I've got, yeah, of course.
Thank you. We'll see exactly how to use this. We know the hole punch. We know how to use it. It's super, super simple. This is brand spanking new. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 brand new thing on today that I can think of. That's a bit stunning, isn't it? This is our Jewellery Maker hole punch. This is the largest size. Now you'll know if you've got our original one. Our original is 1.5 by 2.
Yeah.
This is 3.2 by 4 mil. So a massive difference on that. Do you know what I actually really like about this one as well? The new ones that we're doing. You've got the smaller size, because I know that I've got the other one coming up for you in a bit. You've got the smaller size in one colour and the larger size in another, so you don't even have to get down and have a real close little look.
Yeah,
you already know.
They've thought about this, haven't they?
Really have, really, really have. What is so important about getting such a bigger hole as this is going to give us?
Well, if you're going to start working with your metal, and really all you have to do is make holes and stamp, and you can come up with some really quite amazing designs. But you might want to start to use thicker wire. You might want to start to use your leather, your suede.
Yeah.
You might want to actually put a braid that can go through there.
Yeah.
So you might want to use thicker decorative jump rings that potentially you've made yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Out of twisty wire and thicker gauges. So I think with this, it's giving you even more versatility of, you know, your drill, where you change your drill bits and you faff about and changing them and then you can't find it and the rest of it. But you have got versatility with a drill of different sizes, whereas before you had those two.
Yeah.
Now you're kind of expanding on that, aren't you? So that really, a couple of tools, you have got the versatility of ever having to get the drill out unless you needed to. So
totally.
And you know, it's very a lot of people are scared of the bigger tools. It's a very easy tool to use. It's very easy on your hands. You don't have to buy a lot of expensive equipment. And obviously you've seen, if you work out your design beforehand and you make your holes, you can join all number of components with any number of materials and they'll fit through the hole.
Yeah.
You'll basically have the hole for the job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For whatever medium you want to use. So I really like the idea of this. I didn't even know we were going to get the thicker holed ones.
Well, we have. And the price is astonishing. The price today, brand spanking new tool. Just £8.95, £8.95 for you today. That is it. Double metal punch, 3.2 mil by the 4 mil hole. Let's have a look how to use it now, shall we?
Yeah, let's have a feel and see if it feels the same as the other one.
Yeah, how does it feel? It looks, do you see what I mean with the silver side on the smallest? And this one that I'm about to bring is the same, look. The smallest hole with the silver, the largest one with the black. It just makes it a bit easier, doesn't it?
What they've done is they've got something that works,
Yeah.
and then they've had a little think about, again, I think, how you could make it a bit better, and they've done it. So that you don't actually have to, like you said, get down on the level and look at the size of the mandrel. These ones aren't as clear as well because they're thicker. It's not immediately obvious which one's the thinner and thicker one.
Yeah.
I like that idea that you know immediately by the colours. That really helps. So what I'll do is
Small, silver, the dark, the bold.
these are considerably larger mandrels than the other one. I can just tell by looking
massively,
at them.
aren't
They really are. So you could potentially get
double the size actually, aren't they?
They are. You could get a braid that you'd made through there.
Kumihimo.
You could get, you know, when you do a kumihimo and then you take it off the wheel and you add things and then you put it back on the wheel, but you've still got, in essence, 8 strands.
Yeah.
You could feed your 8 strands through a hole made by this. And then,
Love that idea.
so that you could maybe make your metal components, put all of your 8 strands from your kumihimo or whatever braid you're doing, and you could use this to make the hole, and then you could carry on, put it back on your wheel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And then
so
just
that would
continue
be
as you were before.
Just off the top of my head, that would be something that this would be really useful.
And a great way to add like charms to your kumihimo or your
Because
macrame.
it just
as
gives
well.
it that other dimension. And kumihimo, I know it takes a while, but I think finished pieces look beautiful. But why not get your stamp? You know, you could get a few of these. You could stamp, make a hole in the middle, and actually put them sideways, so that you're adding that kind of decorative finish into the middle of a piece. So you need to put it back on again, but the difference being you'd have to be able to get all of your 8 braids through the hole in your piece, whether it be a butterfly, one of these, whatever. So let's see what this does, shall we?
Another thing with these as well is, like we're saying, the leather cord. At the moment, bloke leather cord jewellery is huge at the moment, isn't it? Just with a really simple little piece of metal or a whatever through the centre, and then just like your large leather piece in the area, isn't it? So imagine if you're making a male piece of jewellery and you just want the leather cord. You know the twisted ones? Did you see them on this morning? That really twisted leather cord that they had. Imagine just a piece of metal through there, maybe, you know, gent's date of birth or whatever on there. Really stunning male piece of jewellery, but then you're not messing about with doing any wire wrapping it onto the cord, which is sometimes a bit of a pain. Or even perhaps, you know, sometimes it's really irritating to add on a jump ring that doesn't quite fit over everything. You've not got that problem now. Oh, I need to let you know this really quickly. 86 of them left at $8.95. Might sound like a lot, but it's not. I've got this one coming up, and people are asking what size we've got coming up. There is a little bit of a queue on the phone. I've got the in-between coming up in a bit. It's coming up for you in a little while. I just need to let people know at home as well, there is a slight queue on the phone. 0800 644 655. There's quite a few in baskets as well, so please do get yourself quickly on those phones. If you want this size, do you mind if I show yours in comparison?
No, yeah, go for it.
If you want this size, so this is the one, the original that we've had. And then this is the one that we're gonna get for you coming up in a little bit. This is what we're talking about. This is the original one that we did. And the smaller size, could you see? The smaller size one is in the silver and the larger size is in the black. So that's what we have last time. So 85 of these left right now that we have. If you're looking for the differences, then you absolutely can. Say that to me again, love. Yeah, do you want to do this one? Yeah, okay, because we're getting low in numbers on this one now. So we'll do this one for you now. We've had people messaging saying they want this. So this is your in-betweener size, if that makes sense. And we have got here your 1.6 and your 2.4 on this one. It's your double metal punch that we have here. OJGX91 is the code. We know the price, don't we? £8.95 for you today. Brand spanking new to us at this moment in time. Get your hands on it whilst you can. OJGX91. It's the in-between of the two, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think if you've got the 3 tools, then you've basically got 6 sizes of holes that you can sort of make in your blanks, and so that you're dealing. I think with the thicker mandrel, it is going to be a little bit harder on your hands than the thinner one, because you are going through sort of metal, and you're going through metal with a thicker mandrel, so it's not going to be quite as easy to use as your smallest tool. You know, to bear that in mind, because you've got sort of more metal to take out from the blank. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with this, it does give you the versatility of having the sort of 6 different size holes, so that you're basically quite flexible with then what you want to make, aren't you? And what you want to put.
Yeah, is what we want.
Yeah,
really,
definitely. Yeah.
Fab. Get your hands on this whilst you can. Already going down in numbers. £8.95. There's a queue on the phone. We'll be with you ASAP. Okay, fab. Let's carry on, because we want to see. We've wrapped on these individual sections. We've done the stopper and we've popped them all on with them now to give you this really nice organic, kind of almost Aztec-y feel, isn't it?
It is kind of an organic feel. And so then all you really need to do is just pop your sort of components together, a bit like a jigsaw, like you can see there. So as I say, I use the twisty wire to start off with because I want it to be thicker, but then I really like the look of it, so I'd probably do that again anyway, even if I had 0.6 to use. So you could do it in the conventional way of starting to make your wrap loop, but I tended to find that as your components start to come together, that can be quite tricky. So what you want to do is pop your wire through first, and then start to make your loop so that you haven't actually taken it around your pliers first of all. So it's a little bit more malleable, and you can actually make a loop the size that you want. So just actually thread that wire through first and then wrap your loop. So I'm just going to pop my pliers in there, and I'm going to just wrap a loop. Now again, you probably don't have to be incredibly neat and tidy with this, because this is quite an organic rustic kind of look, so I wanted the wire to look as such. Okay. So I'm going to put 2 of my little spacer beads on again.
Don't forget, you get those in the findings pack included in this kit that had a massive £17 something off, to be specific.
And then, you know what I really liked about the Larimar was that you had different lengths, so that you could do kind of statement pieces, but then you could have a flat bit to actually put on top of your, so you kind of get a lot of different diversity within the strands. So I decided that I would like to sort of probably pop on one of these, and they have got different holes going through them, so you might need to find one that's got slightly larger holes.
Kit's in at the bottom of your screen, it's the dots and dashes. Don't forget, you had those very exclusive last chance to purchase blanks with the rounds and the squares. It's the only ones we've got in that colourway. You also had in there 10 metres of your 0.4, you had your 3 strands of genuine gemstones, the findings pack as well in there. Massive saving today, over £17 off. It's only £21.95.
Well, see, that's great, because you've got so many different options there. So what I'm going to do is just add the 2 at the top. If I'd have made my loop with my round nose pliers to start with, I'd have a struggle getting that in now, and I'd have a struggle getting it facing the right way. Okay, yeah. So that's why I'm just literally looping it through. Now I forgot to this point, and I thought, oh no, I've already secured my gemstones on here. Now I want to put this bit of twisted wire through, and it won't go. Yeah. That's when you could just get one of your thicker tools and make a thicker hole. Thick hole.
Brilliant.
So quite versatile in that way. And again, I'm just going to wrap that around, so that now I've got my top 2 pieces joined together.
Lovely.
Like so. And then again, because the wire is so malleable, you want to add your bottom 2. If you didn't want your shape to be sort of quite big and bulky, you could then just put some jump rings and line your holes up. So when you are making your holes in your metal, try not to make your holes too far away from the edge of the metal, because you need to bear in mind what you're going to use to connect them together. And if that is going to be jump rings, and your holes are too far away from the edge of the metal, then you're not going to get your jump rings through. Okay. So just sort of bearing that in mind. I decided that I'd quite like a feature and to use some more wire, so I just did it in exactly the same way again. Okay. Adding through my twisted wire, making my loop. Okay. Adding on one of our spacer beads. And then adding my Once Upon a Time at the bottom.
Pretty big hole, isn't it?
And pop it on. So that you're also adding your shape. You're building your shape up as you go, so you can actually trim off and start to build up. Can you see what I'm doing there?
I see, you can build it up.
You build it up as you go along. So as long as you have the facility to make the holes in your blanks, once you've got your confidence with your stamping, you can start to then take multiple blanks, put them together in shapes, either using your jump rings or using your wire, whether it be single wire or medium. You can use your cord. You could put cord around, tie a bow, couldn't you, and add a dab of glue. It can be whatever you want it to be, but don't be afraid of your metal. If you look at my finished piece, it's very me. That might not be to everybody's taste, but I wanted to show you how you can take 3 of the blanks and do something a bit different, make a statement with those 3, rather than just get one blank, write something on it and hang it off. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I know
so
exactly
that you can be versatile with that. And as you said, with the gents jewellery, you can put a piece of leather or cord and then just have like a dog tag. You know, those dog tags are really expensive, aren't they?
They're really expensive for what they are as well.
Yeah.
we've had a message in actually saying that we forgot to show what you've done.
Oh, sorry.
So I thought very quickly. This is with that the largest hole punch that we used earlier on. This is the size, and this is kind of what you do with the dog tag, isn't it? This is the type of size and shape you'd want to go through that leather cord, isn't it? Really,
you would. And also you can make texture. If you have a look, I was playing with texture with it as well. So if you don't take it all the way through, if you don't keep going with your mandrel, you can make circles. So not only can you make a hole, but you can make a circular shaped indentation, which will then make a nice texture. But I want to be clear that these bigger holes take a little bit more twisting.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be as easy. It's still doable, of course it is, but it's not going to be as easy as the smaller holes. And it's like that with anything. The more metal you take out,
of course, because you're taking more metal.
You're taking more metal
out.
But it really, really versatile, because look at the size of that hole. You could easily get your thickest medium through there.
It's massive, isn't it? Beautiful. What did you say to me then, Helena? I said we've got some butterflies and squares. Where are they?
What, blanks?
Woo! My dragonflies are flying away. Now, have I got a blackboard that I can show these on? Let me get them out of their plastic bags. Hang on, stay there, stay where you are. Thanks, Pete. Can I have some tweezers as well? Do you mind? You're a love. Thanks, Pete. Thank you, sweet Pete. Because I just want to get all these out for you. You can't really see them in these bags, and you need to get the full effect. Are these coming together? Wow. Wowzers. Dragonflies. Your squares. Now, these ones I've seen been dyed. I've seen them dyed. I've seen them. You can do a lot with these, can't you?
Well, the good thing about these, and I always say this about the dragonfly, is that if you hang him, again, because you've got the versatility of making your own holes. How many times have you got a charm or a blank and thought, but I don't want to hang it like that?
Yeah.
But that's what the hole is, so I'm going to have to. These dragonflies, you can actually make the hole at the top, and you've got such a long space. Say somebody's daughter's got a long name or a double-barreled name, you can stamp that across and you'll easily get that in.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
So that can be hung straight down, that can be hung sideways, depending on what you want to stamp on it. And that just gives it that extra versatility.
You've got 5 of the dragonflies. You've got 5 of these diamonds or the squares, which are actually the same shape and size as the ones in this kit. So if you've got the kit and you really want to work with that multi-metal, the kind of steampunky mixed media, mixed metals effect, then pair this with it. Got 5 of those as well. You've got the selection of hearts, which was in the kit earlier, but you've got the smaller and the larger as well.
That's good.
Let me show you these next to each other just to give you an idea of the size difference. Oh, I could just see these. Like as a graduation, maybe a drop, just lots of different. What about, oh, how gorgeous is this as an idea, if I do say so myself. What about like the mum and the dad's name on the large one, and then underneath like little baby's name or date of birth or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
Initials on there as a little pendant. Cute idea, isn't it? And you've also got the rounds as well in here. You're going to be getting 5 of those too. You've got 5 of the large hearts, and I think you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of the smaller hearts in this kit. So you're getting absolutely loads. Cracking little dealio on these today. Should be. £23.75, of course, because these are serious quality. This is professional. This is really versatile, and there's a lot of metal you'll get in here today, though. It's not £23.75. It's just £14.95 for you today for all of these. That is a cracking little price. That's a massive saving. What saving's that? You've got way over a £5 off there, haven't you? Stamping Essentials, there's loads of you getting your hands on this already. This is going to be great if you're a beginner, because do you know what, when you've got this many, if you mess up on one of them or 2 of them, it doesn't actually matter, you've got loads of backups. But also it's great if you've been doing it for a while, because you've got your stashes there, haven't you?
And you've got room for experimentation. It doesn't matter how successful you've been with your stamping and how good you are in one way, you might decide, hey, what happens if I put my alcohol inks? What happens if I, get my polymer and Trone? What happens if I cover it in enamel? What, experimentation. And it's nice to have extras, like you say, that maybe you want to experiment on. But you know what's good with these? You could take one of the big ones, put 3 of the small hearts either side, join them together with a jump ring, and there's a bracelet.
Cute, yeah, let me show you that.
And you could just stamp your whole family's names on that. It could be your sort of family heart bracelet.
Yeah, I adore that idea. So that almost like just with a jump ring in between.
Make your holes. Again, like I said before, line up, make a mark where you want your holes to be.
Yeah.
And decide what you're going. So if it's wire,
bit of chain,
that's
a bracelet.
Sorted.
Gorgeous.
And that's 3 of them.
That's beautiful. You've still got loads left over there.
Yeah.
£14.95. You're gonna have to be quick though, ladies and gents, because the names have gone off my screen twice. Oh wait, what? Why are we going down even further? £12.95. Wait, how much is that saving now, Scott? £10.80 off.
Crumbs, that's brilliant. That's really good. I like him.
I love it.
That's
Why
nice.
not? Why not? Check out your baskets now though, ladies and gents, because with over £10 off on these, that is sensational.
That is very good. You've got statement jewellery there, or you've got, a charm bracelet. Say you've got 2 children, you make somebody a charm bracelet and just put 2 hearts on with their children's names on. You can put 1 heart on as a charm with just with a texture on. Lots of different possibilities. You can play around with those.
Do you know what I'm thinking as well? Cufflinks with the hearts.
Yeah. Perfect.
Get your hole punch. You'll do a hole here, a hole there. Get your wire through to take it to a T at the back. A little bit of chain. Your T-bar from a toggle clasp. Pair of cufflinks done, and again you could stamp on maybe kids' names or special dates on
just
there.
Quirky little
Something
things.
personalised.
Yeah.
Really, really good. A cracking saving. £10.80 off today. Loads of these going. KVGC67. That's the code. Get them whilst you can. Right. We've seen exactly how to put this together now.
I mean, once you've made everyone knows how to carry on stringing, and what I did, because you get the lovely matrix collection in this kit of your different shaped jump rings, all I did was make some links where I'd put 2 of the Larimars and 4 of the shaped jump rings to actually make a feature of them rather than using them as connectors. I use them as a part of the design. And so I just basically put these onto my pins. I made a few of them and I connected them together in a pattern using some of the nicer jump rings as well as connectors. And so what I've really the point of today was just to show you that you can take 3 connectors and you can do metalworking designs. And you don't have to stamp on all of them. Less is more sometimes. You can just stamp on one of them. But that could be 3 names. You could have family on the round one, and then you could have 2 children's names on the square ones. It's how much you want to do. But you can actually go quite metalwork just using your blanks without actually having to have your metal sheet and being afraid of it. And this is a really, really good way of starting off your metalwork and getting your confidence up to handle the material, to maybe go on and do different things later to try and take your jewellery making to that kind of next level. But not really needing a lot of expensive and hard to use tools.
Absolutely. I think it's just a wonderful little product. It's a wonderful kit. Thank you very much for showing us how to create that. Talk us through how you did these earrings, if anyone's just tuned in now and they want to see, because I quite like this. This is really in at the moment, isn't it? The kind of...
yes, no, good, bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yin yang.
Yeah.
It's just 2 of your square blanks turned on the side. I've put a hole at the top and a hole at the bottom, and then I've just, because I love these star pins that we have, and so I've actually just put that in and then turned it at a right angle so that you can see the star, wrap loop it onto the bottom, and obviously I've just stamped good and bad, but I've also used the hammer to give it a little bit of texture as well, so it looks rustic. So very easy to make earrings.
I think that's really funky, it truly is. David K, you're an absolute love. I've had some texts.
Oh, have we?
Oh, aye.
Is it, when is she going to do a challenge?
Yeah, how did you know? Hi guys, I'm running up and down the stairs to see what else to order with my set of metal stamps whilst home dyeing my hair. The volume is up on the TV as I'm after some metal blank shapes, please. Also, the fancy alphabet set 2. Loving the show, thanks very much. And that is from Kimmy Merseyside. Hi love, you all right? What colour are you going?
Yeah, multitasking, I like that.
Multitasking, I love that. That is a skill though, multitasking whilst dyeing your hair.
We can do that, women can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you can, or else that is going to be an unusual look we're going for. Hi Becky and Debbie, can you put resin on those blanks? Best wishes from Norma.
I don't work with resin a lot. I know that you can put enamel on them, on our little enamel pot. I know you can put not just the enamel, you know, the melting pot enamel. You can also put the, you know, we get the little sort of tea light stove. You put that enamel on them because I've done it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't like to say there isn't. I think you can, but it's not my area of expertise. There you go, something I don't do. So Fiona, maybe if you want to know for sure, if you put that on Facebook, I'm sure one of our resin people can tell you, but I think someone asked me this before and someone actually texted to say yes, they do it often. So I think the answer is a yes.
I think as well it would be yes, but
Yeah.
it's always best to double check.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to check out their baskets on the goodies on screen at the moment because we're into our low numbers now. Join us after the break for serious treats, serious deals, and a bit more Debbie cake. See you in a bit.
Get involved with Jewellery Maker by sending the studio a message during our live hours. You can send a text to 60777 and start your message with JM Studio, or alternatively, go to our website and click on Watch the Live Show, simply type your message into the box and press send. Make sure you stay tuned in case your message is read out. Get interactive with Jewellery Maker.
You can now keep in touch by liking Jewellery Maker UK on Facebook. Get interactive with Jewellery Maker.
Join guest designer Gemma Crow for our Adventures with Beading Thread DVD. Gemma will guide you through a variety of techniques from basic to more advanced ways you can use beading thread, including how to create flowers, weaving and plaiting techniques, and much more. To get your hands on a copy, simply contact our call centre. Get creative with Jewellery Maker.
The Collector's Choice features high-caliber gemstones which are prized for their outstanding attributes. They could be examples of rare gemstones, gemstones of pure clarity or exceptional quality. They're all hand-faceted by our experienced lapidarists in our cutting houses in the heart of Jaipur. This maximises the brilliance and lustre of the gemstones. The Collector's Choice from Jewellery Maker.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Designer Inspiration. Thank you very much for joining us. How much fun has today been? Again, what a fantastic weekend we've had. Truly, so much going on. If you have just tuned in, you have missed a corker, but don't worry, I've still got some more goodies coming up for you. Where are we starting? Okay, I've got 12 of these. Sorry, my talk bag's just fallen out my ear. Oh. I've got 12 of these, that's it. 12 and they're gone. So get in now. Amber, I've got 12. That's it. Price, £14.95. There's 42 centimetres worth on this. I'm getting your pricing straight away. I'm letting you know how many we've got, because you know what happens with amber. It comes in, it flies out. Take a look, beautiful honey amber. Each one of these is created from the sap from a monkey puzzle tree. And this sap is thousands upon thousands, possibly even millions and millions of years old. It is fossilized due to the heat, due to the pressure. It has created this gorgeous honey, whiskey-like tone that we have here. Each one of these is just beautifully shaped into these Baroque style puffy ovals, 5x3 mil. This is literally your chance to own history. Pete has just made my day. Thank you, Pete, you little love. Look at this. This is an example of your amber. This is how we will get your amber. So this is a piece. Oh, it's gone. Is it a sellout? Sellout. Sorry. That's cool though, isn't it? Look at this. This is a large piece of amber. And let me just show you as well. How close in that is that in colour? It's like the same, isn't it? Especially when the light travels through this. It's amazing. £14.95. Gonna have to move on for you now, I'm afraid. Well done if you managed to get that. Yep, go on. Which one's that? There's nothing in there, love. Greens, pinks. Ooh. Ooh, flower power, this one's called. Look at this lovely rose quartz. Faceted rose quartz. Doesn't happen that often, I don't think. Take a look. When we get rose quartz, you might get it in a round faceted, but not that often is it in a drop faceted, which would be beautiful if you did want to create flower shapes with this, maybe just overlapping 5 of these with a little bit of a tiara twist. And then what about if you did that with the tiara twist, having some little central gemstone drops like the stamen. Yeah, these little tiny bits. It would be really cute, wouldn't it?
It'd be gorgeous.
Little cluster of these in the centre. Tiara twist, 5 of these with the stamen, just a little few bubbles on the end, just 3 of those, just to draw the eye down. You've got here the rose quartz, 120 carats worth of these facets, 12 mil. You've got the green agate, 20 carats worth on there, 3 mil. Beautiful amount of colour and zest through there, isn't there? There truly, truly is. It's just beautiful. Agate's something that's becoming more and more and more popular. I've got to say, on our sister channel Gems, they had a whole agate section the other night. I've never seen them have so much on, but it's purely because it's going up and up and up in popularity. It really is. People are starting to become aware of it now. Lovely to have the 3 mil too, because bead loom, isn't it? They work beautifully together. And then this gets involved, and they work exquisitely together now. Genuine emerald, shaded perfectly, isn't it? 30 carats worth on 30 centimetre strand. That's a lot, isn't it? 30 centimetres worth of emerald. If you think there's no spaces on this, that's just gem upon gem upon gem upon gem, 30 centimetres worth. These are around 4 by 2 in size. Again, when we see these together with the other 2 that I have, they just look beautiful. They really do work exquisitely. Look at them there. That is springtime, isn't it? That's springtime luxury. Oh, sorry, my tweezers are running away. Flower power, I've got 3 strands. Your price should be that price just for the emerald. I'd be chuffed. Really? Wouldn't you? £17.85 for 30 carats of genuine emerald. I would be more than chuffed. Fact of the matter is, we're not even staying there for all 3. £14.85 for all 3 strands. I paid that just for the emerald and feel like I was getting a massive bargain. £14.85 for all 3. What do you think about that price?
That's amazing, because it's, as you say, you've got the stems there for your flowers,
yeah,
and then you've got your, not only the petals for your flowers, but they're faceted, so they're going to catch the light really beautifully. So you could do hair, you know, things for your hair, couldn't you? Like your fascinators and your a bit of prom, and your, you know, that would be lovely. But you could also do some quite vine-like neck pieces as well, some quite nature-inspired. That would be really, really pretty.
I really like that idea.
So that's really good, isn't it, for all 3 together?
With emerald.
That's madness.
As well. That is, isn't it? That does make it madness. It truly, truly does. £14.85. Beautiful variety. Really gorgeous selection here. ZLGC05, that is the code on this today. When you're getting 3 strands and one of those is beautiful emerald, you know you're getting yourself a treat. And do you know what, even if you didn't want to work these together, you wouldn't have to, because even individually they all kind of stand out in their own right, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And I think you could, we always think, don't we, because it comes together. I think because of our guest designers tend to work on things that we're given, but you forget that people have other things in there. It's a great stash builder.
Yeah.
Even if you took them individually, you could just use them on their own. Be nice as stacked, the two in green stacked bracelets. Nice to say emerald bracelet. I've got an emerald bracelet. You know, just really, really pretty.
Yeah, beautiful. It will make you feel like walking with a spring in your step with spring-like colours. It's perfect. £14.85. Get your hands on it whilst you can. I've got another little cheeky bundle for you here now. Loads in this one. Let's go through these one at a time. Labradorite, beautiful quality, because you've got the clarity there, but it's still got that Labrador essence. You've still got that shiller and that sheen, even though you've got the clarity. This isn't the deepest, darkest shade. You know, sometimes we get those really dark, almost jet black you can get, can't you, at points? With this, you've still got the clarity, but you've got that stunning shiller. It goes to show the quality. That's one thing that I think a lot of people love about Labradorite. You can see the quality of a gem straight away just by looking at it, because the more Labrador essence, the higher the quality. So we already know this is up there in the quality stakes. 75 carats worth of these drops. We've also got a really zesty colour of Tiger's Eye. Now, Tiger's Eye and Labradorite, for me, work beautifully together because they both have that internal optical effect. Of course, Labradorite with the Labrador essence, and then this gorgeous deep Tiger's Eye with that chatoyancy burst and blast. When we say chatoyancy, we mean there's gold sheen in this case that just runs across the surface, almost like a starburst effect that goes across these. 70 carats worth, again working with the beautiful drops. All of these are the drop, hence the name which I've just noticed, drop it like it's hot. 5x3 to 12x4 on those. Then, delicate kiss of colour with the rose quartz. These would go beautifully with the rose quartz I just brought you earlier on in that flower power, wouldn't they? 75 carats worth. They're described as irregular plain drops here. They have just got that little peck on the cheek of colour. This is femininity, this is gentle, this is really, really girly, and it's a colour to be cherished, really, isn't it? It's a very, very sweet, nurturing tone of this beautiful gemstone. It is, of course, your rose quartz, 75 carats. And then lastly, but by no means leastly, my birthstone. Stone described as the stone of creativity, amethyst. Some Rose de France tones in here. Can you see those little areas of Rose de France colouring? It's beautiful, isn't it? This is amethyst. It is 100 carats worth of your amethyst here. Graduated plain drops from 5x3 to 7x4 mil. 30 centimetre strands. This one, again, like the Labradorite, no spacers, just gemstones, which is what we're looking for, really, isn't it? Each one of them, of course, has got the drop shape, but they're all kind of they're not faceted, they're all plain, which means that you get this really nice organic feel. But then if you wished and you wanted to work it alongside a facet or a plain mound or a rondelle, it wouldn't look out of place. A lot of versatility on each of these strands, and let's face it, versatility in the colour palette as well. You've got really feminine, but then you've also got some quite strong and bold tones as well. Your price is loopy. Do you like that?
I do, it's just simple, the price is loopy and that's it.
It's just loopy.
Yeah.
£16.80 for 4 strands of genuine gemstones. Get ready to go loopy. Honestly, get ready.
Oh, that is loopy, I agree. Loopy-loo.
That is loop-de-loo, isn't it?
It really
this
is.
should have been nearly £17. A few pence off £17. You're getting it for £9.95 today. That means you're buying a genuine strand of each of these gemstones for just over £2 each.
Madness.
Isn't that loopy?
It's loopy, it is loopy.
The thing is, you've got something that ties all of these together. There's a common ground here. They've all got these beautiful drop-like effects. But you've also got the versatility, because you've got really strong, well-known, beautiful, bold tones with your tiger's eye and your labradorite. Then you have your feminine touches, your springtime looks with the amethyst and the rose quartz. So here you've got versatility, but you've also got a common ground with this drop shape. Pair these with something highly faceted, highly shaped, highly seasoned and highly formed to give a really outstanding chic look. Pair these with something that's perhaps a little bit textured, a little bit vintage to get a really boho chic look. You can literally tick all of your look boxes with this collection, can't you? Great to top your stash up with. At that price for genuine gemstones, you couldn't even buy plastic for that really, could you? You really couldn't. And why would you when you can get your hands on genuine gemstones for a lower price, probably £9.95 USGC 15 loads. You're getting your hands on this today. Hello, lovely ladies and gentlemen. £9.95 for you. USGC 15. People at home, please check out your baskets, please, because I don't want you to miss out. And also then, people in the gallery don't have to waste their voices going, get them to check out, get them to check out, every 24 seconds. Save their voices and save mine as well. Just check out, okay? Don't worry, because it's only £2.95, no matter if you check out once or 25 times today. It's still only one postage packaging until midnight tonight, so check it out for us, okay? Where did you say, love? 5 of these. Okay, I've got 5. Get in. 0800 644 655 if you want to get your hands on star-shaped amethyst. Go, go, go. Let's get your price in. It's absolutely exceptional. £34.95. You've got 5 opportunities. That is it. Now, I need to really show you around these gems, if I may. Let me find you one of the central pieces so we can really get a good look. So, it's star shape. Now, when I say star shape, what I'm referring to is the shape from the table through to the girdle of these, okay? So you can see the table is the flat bit. If I just catch the light's now cascading across that table. And can you see how that leads down to those girdle areas? This then spans around the back, right down to the culée. And due to the culée's position straight within the center of that table, that means that you get this beautiful star-like facet around that culée point as well. So this star shape is mimicked throughout. If you love wire workers such as Alison, Tarry, such as Michelle, Sammy, and you're into the kind of faux prong set with wire, this is the perfect shape for that. This is almost that shape that is the archetypal gemstone shape. I think when people think of jewellery that you would purchase maybe on the high street, this is the type of thing you'd imagine, really, isn't it? If you were to faux prong set this, it would sit perfectly on the ring, just with a beautiful little set. Do your shoulders just coming up around each side, and because it's star shaped, there's perfect areas there for you to enhance that shape and that tone. You've got plenty on this strand as well. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 on these. And let's face it, when I've got 16 of them on this strand, you're going to be charging more for this shape than you would, say, just a plain round, wouldn't you? Let's be honest about it. A lot more work has gone into this, hasn't it? A heck of a lot more work. Before, you know, we had the quartz before, and I said to you, if you're going to be charging for a ring, let's be safe and say a £5 for a ring. With this, to be safe, you're looking at more the £20 mark, I'd say. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, yeah.
Per ring.
I also think that one of those would be nice on just a sterling silver chain for a bracelet. And it's like the sort of making a wish bracelet just with one. If you wanted to put sort of 4 or 5, you could put them on, but I would put one on sterling silver chain, which wouldn't have to be long, and you know, quite a high-end, very wearable piece.
I love that idea. I think that's a fab idea. Little look at this. £34.95 for you. RHZC 50. Last chance to purchase right here, right now. You're gonna have to move on because I've got loads to squeeze in my last 25 minutes. That's a challenge.
I'm going for it.
Good. I like the little tune you had there. This is a gemstone that I'm so excited to bring you because I've never ever brought this to you before. It is a connoisseur's choice. It is exquisite. Angelite. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how to really describe this blue. It's like the duck shell blue, isn't it, that you've got with this. It's unlike any colours that we're used to seeing. Natural colour palette on this, by the way. Please note that. This isn't a coating. This is Mother Nature working this duck shell blue through this stunning gemstone. Now, if you're like me, you don't really know that much about Angelite, there's a few things to tell you about it. First off, it's a relatively new discovery. It truly, truly is. And it's something which, in the gemstone world, it's quite renowned for one thing and one thing in particular. And that is the beliefs behind the healing properties of this. Because it is a relatively new gemstone. The history actually behind it isn't that vast. It's not that expansive because it is quite a new find. But for those who are interested in crystal healing and have beliefs in that, obviously I can't say that it's absolutely true or false either way, but it's just nice to let you know. That's what this gemstone is known for. If you have a research of this gem, that's what will come up time and time and time again. It's believed by crystal healers that it is there to basically help with your 5th chakra, so help with the throat chakra and help you with your communication. It's also said that it's very good at unblocking your energy paths, which is why it's used time and time again within the crystal healing. This gemstone itself is also known for that because on the Mohs scale, it's a relatively low down on the Mohs scale. When we talk of the Mohs scale, we're talking about the hardness and the strength of a gemstone. This is actually a 3.5 on the Mohs scale. Now that means that you don't have to be worried if you're going to make, say, a bracelet out of this or a necklace out of this. It's not going to scuff, you know, against, say, a piece of clothing, it'll be scratched. That's not the case at all. But very much like your pearls, very much like your organics, this is something that you don't want to be squirting with loads of perfume. You don't want to be, you know, wearing this when you're maybe going to the gym or out. This is something for special occasions, I would say. This is something for the more grown-up person. I wouldn't necessarily make something out of this and maybe give it to my 4-year-old great niece to bash about with in the garden particularly. Oh, I need to let you know though, 20 left. Okay, should we get your price in? It's genuinely, how often do you see this? It's the first time I've ever been able to see this, ever held it in my hand. It's £11.95 for you today. It is an exceptional blue. It's totally unique, completely unlike anything else. It's beautiful. 400 carats worth, 12 mil on these rounds. I am, though, into very low double figures. Heading into my teens on this one now. Check out your baskets, please. £11.95. It is so beautiful. I've got a huge amount of this gone already. We don't see it often, do we?
No, it's not something that you know, that you really see. Again, you're getting the opportunity to work with something different, something that you haven't worked with before, and to offer people as well. It just gives you diversity in your designs.
Totally. I completely get that. With this, because of the colour, because it's so unique, I can't think of a stone that I've seen this colour before. Can you? That's this colour naturally. I personally can't. What would you pair this with to really enhance that difference?
You could either go really contrasting, couldn't you? So you could do something really funky.
5 left. Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
5 left. Carry on.
Or you could go with something quite see-through and faceted.
Yeah.
So that you get the lovely sort of matte texture of it coming through. So I think I'd probably go with something like a plain quartz, but maybe faceted, so that we had the different textures as well as colours.
I love that idea. Yeah, and then that'll really sparkle through, won't it?
Yeah.
You're not distracting then. Fab idea. 2 left about now. And if the 2 Susans, I've got 2 Susans trying to get this. One of them's gone and well done. Tiny amount left of those. Where are we heading to? We are going to my favourites. Oh, opal and zircon in one show. Ooh. Spoiling me indeed. Double strand here of this most fiery of fire opals. Boy, oh boy, this is zesty, isn't it? Fire opal for me is a really interesting gemstone, a lot of reasons. One is the location. It's from Mexico and it is mined in areas that are essentially extinct volcanoes, and that's one of the reasons you get this crazy fire coming through here. Another thing that I absolutely adore about fire opal, especially when it's shaded like this strand is that for me, kind of, it taps in to your human emotion, doesn't it? It makes you think of hot, zesty fire tones. It almost kind of awakens you, doesn't it? It gives you this feeling of just tapping into your mind, and it's those, when you think of a flame and you think of a candle and you think of fire, you do think of these really, really hot tones and mesmerizing tones as well, isn't it? You know, sometimes when you've got a beautiful log fire and you're somewhere, you get like captivated within the flames, don't you? You can't stop watching it. And that's what this does to me. It wakes me up. It makes me think bright. It makes me think energy. It makes me think power, passion, impactful. And the price is gonna do the same. £12.95. Double strand we've got here. I've already had people purchasing this. Congratulations for getting your hands on it. You can see the fire in this, can't you? You can see the brightness. This is going to be one of those strands that you do just get lost in, but I'll be honest with you, I've already got loads of people who have purchased it. I've got about 23 left right now, and that's it. Once they're gone, they're gone. AJSF69, that's the code. £12.95 for this. Beautiful and shaded, which means if you are one of those people who likes graduating out colours, which on chips, let's be honest, flipping nightmare to do sometimes, isn't it? Yes. Oh, you don't have to worry with this. You're going right deep down those zesty burnt umbers, all the way to the amber tones, to the lemons. And if you manage to get your hand on that amber, how beautiful would this go with it? Absolutely exceptionally well. Really very, very pretty. We did sell out the amber though. Sorry. If you did manage to get it though, how about adding this to your order? Because it's just going to work exceptionally well, isn't it? £12.95, a double strand, because you've got 80 carats worth here. And do you know what I like about the amber as well, actually? If you work it with the different, even with the bright red, the burnt umbers, the really, really deep, dark cinnamon tones, it works great with, of the fire opal. But it also works just as well with the yellowy tones, doesn't it, that amber? It's fab. I absolutely adore this. Get your hands on it whilst you can. £12.95 today. Double strander for you. Ooh, some more Peridot. If you managed to get that Peridot earlier on, that collector's choice that I had, how about pairing it with this? Because the drops, exceptional. What do you think? It's got that effect again, hasn't it? That deep, deep glow, that absolutely sensational saturation just vibrating through each of these zesty little babies. 35 carats worth we've got of these graduated ovals, from 4x6 to 7x9. They're faceted to perfection as well, aren't they? They truly, truly are. Now, again, quite an unusual shape and selection, especially for this gemstone. What do you think of doing with these ones, Debbie Kay?
I'd make those leaves. I do a lot of flowers and leaves, and I often wire on gemstones like this to be my leaves in a design. And I like the way they're faceted, because I think as well as adding the colour and the shape that I'd need for that, they add a different texture as well because of the facets. Ever so pretty, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
Really pretty. Exceptional.
Really, really beautiful and wearable as well, which is what we want, isn't it, really? BGYY 96 is the code on this. Remember the price of the one we had on earlier, okay? That was your high end, that was your collector's choice, that was around the £35 mark, wasn't it? I've only got 26 of these at the moment, and your price today is just £10.95. So get the gemstone in a more affordable way than the collector's choice that we had on earlier on. 35 carats worth of this you have. It's a beautiful variety of stone, it truly is. And if you're into history and you're into kind of the exciting past in gemstones, then this really does have a wide variety of interesting things you can learn. At £10.95 as well, it's a way for you to perhaps own a gemstone you've wanted to get your hands on but haven't been able to afford to in the past. We're able to bring you this stunner today though. BGYY96 is your code right now. We're doing another bundle, are we? Memory wire in the gold. Oh, okay, exciting. This is exciting. This is exciting because this is a gorgeous collection. You've got your memory wire here. Does what it says on the tin. It essentially holds its shape beautifully. If you like doing wrapped bracelets or wrapped rings or necklaces, and this is your chance to do so. You've got 14 coils on the ring that I'm showing you here. Don't worry as well, this ring does fit me absolutely fine, but if I was to put more gemstones on this, it would still fit. This is kind of one size fits all because it will stretch and expand to different people's fingers. You've also got your bracelet, which again has the 14 coils on there. And then you have your necklace design, which has 10 coils. So the chance of making up to 10 necklaces with this. Then you've got your gemstones, which will work exceptionally well with this design. Really a lot of thought put into this one. You've got multi strands and multi gemstones on here. This is a picture of your multi-coloured poppy agate 4mm rounds. Then you've got this juxtaposition with this high shine submetallic, beautiful luster of the pyrite. And then, oh, choked on my own spit then. Sorry. And then you've also got these faceted rondelles of the amethyst. I thought, well, I couldn't think of it. It's true. It's what happened. When you go silent for that amount of time, you can't just ignore it, can you? 40 carats worth here of these. Now look how well they work together. There's so much difference in this, isn't there? You've got those perfect rounds of the agate, the 4mm, great on a bead loom. You've got the high shine submetallic of the pyrite, but then the amethyst, you've got the facets, but that real deep kind of in-between effect. You've got these 3 strands and 3 forms of memory wire today. The price? £19.80 is the should-be price on this. Because these are really lengthy strands, actually. Where's my ruler of truth? Ruler of truth, come with me. Today, though, getting a £5 off, £14.80. I'm just getting my ruler out because these are lengthy strands. I thought they were lengthy. We say our average is around the 30 mark, don't we? Because we have some that are longer, but we also have some that are just 16, 17, 18 centimetres long. This one, though, look at this, 30 centimetres there. And then you've got around 38 to 40 centimetres on this strand. Loads of gemstones on there. If you were to work with these together, say I said to you, Debbie, I've got these 3 strands and I really want a nice bracelet. What would you do with these to create a memory wire bracelet?
Do you know, I do that effect where you just use the memory wire and it looks like you've stacked your bangles but use just one piece. So all you do is make a loop in the end of the memory wire, go for 1 full round with 1 type of gemstone, 2nd full round with the 2nd. It looks like you're wearing 3 bangles, but it's actually all connected.
Clever.
And if you wanted, you could put just a charm on the end, a stamped charm, or just leave it. But it does look like you've stacked your bangles, but you are actually only wearing 1. Yeah, like
so
that.
it kind of give you this look, but it's just on 1 piece of memory wire.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
So, yeah.
Really funky. And that's really wearable as well, isn't it? That's a throw it on to go to work, throw it on to go down shops type thing, isn't it?
And they're not going to get tangled because it's on memory wire and it's very quick to make. The thing I like about memory wire is you can make something really quite outstanding quickly, and it's sturdy, it'll last, and it's easy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. £14.80. You've got £5 saving on this today. It's a stunner. Essentially, you're getting yourself sort of the memory wiring a bit more free, really, aren't you, at that price? You really are. £14.80. LJ GC90. That is your code on that now. Squeeze this one in for you. Oh, Moonstone. Moonstone.
Perfect.
With the Angelite. Because the Schiller is the same tone. Oh my gosh, how gorgeous would that be together? The sheen you're getting from this, can we pick any up? There's little flashes of blue. Now what I will say to you is I have got Schiller to my eye. I have got a blue sheen on here. However, there's a little bit. You can't see as much as I can see, and that's purely due to the lights in here. Lights are said to light us and the set with us and not necessarily best for showing you and depicting to you the beautiful sheen and Schiller of this particular gemstone. So just trust me on this, you're going to get much more to the eye when you get it in natural daylight, and also you've got 30-day money back guarantee, so if you don't love it, you know you can send it back. No questions, no quibbles, I'm sure you will though. 150 carats worth of this Moonstone, 8mm round. Your price £7.95 for you today. Lengthy strand, and genuinely, how well does this go together?
They're beautiful together, aren't they?
Would you put those together?
Yeah, I would, because I think, like you said, as you move as well, as the jewellery moves, you'll get the Schiller coming through, and it'll pick up the blue from the other strand.
It really would, wouldn't it? £7.95 for you on this. It's a grey strand because it's got that body of colour, the kind of white tones to it that are going to go with everything, but also it's a workable size with it being 8mm. So it means it's just great as a stash topper upper, and genuine gemstones, £7.95. Stunning, isn't it? Did you like my stash topper upper? I just saw Maggie from behind the camera and went, stash topper upper, and she sort of went, huh? It's a technical term. It is beautiful variety here, isn't it? What do you think when you see Moonstone? What does it make you imagine or dream of, Debbie Kay?
It makes me think of the moon at night because of the name of it. Again, it's up there with Amethyst for me for my top 3 strands. And I love the way, it's like a magical gemstone for me, a bit mythical. You can add story and stories and myth and legend to your jewellery by using it, just because it's alive, isn't it? It's like labradorite, it's alive.
Yeah.
And it moves, and as you move and as your jewellery moves, it takes on, depending where you are, what colours you're wearing, it takes on different textures and colours. So I think there's something quite romantic about that.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It really is special. £7.95 on this today. Get it whilst you can. I'm heading over to you now. You ready?
I am. I'm ready.
You're ready for this?
I'm ready.
Now, don't forget, I gave lovely Debbie Kay her challenge at the start of the show, and I gave her a selection, 1 genuine gemstone and 2 organics. They were a cracking price point. They're going to come up on your screen in a moment. Just as a reminder, you had the graduation on the agate from around 16mm to just 6mm, and you had that beautiful pop of the fuchsia tones running through there. You also had your 2 strands of pearls as well. You had that gorgeous champagne rosé tone with the 8x7, and you had the massive 11x10mm. Now these 11x10mm, 19.95 by themselves. That meant that today's price was ridiculously crazy, because today, £21.95 for all 3 strands. That means you buy the 11x10, you get a strand of agate for £1, and you get the other strand of genuine pearls for £1 also. Stunning deal, and how are they to work with?
Lovely, and they go so far, and I haven't really gone, I mean, time constraints permitting, but I haven't gone really crazy with them. I think less is more sometimes. Yeah. And I think with these 3, pretty much anything you do with them is going to work. So I've just sort of made some drops. I've chosen, and because they're graduated as well, you can choose your sizes. So you can get 2 for earrings. You could do your macrame with this, couldn't you? Or your kumihimo, and just really stunning, just hanging from your ears. Yeah. Again, I funked up the pearls a bit. Again, that's on memory wire. Super quick. Yeah, super quick. Put that on some memory wire, and then just took 2 links out of the chain that I had in my kit, and added 1 gemstone. And I think that's quite striking. You know, it's not, anything. It's very easy to make, very quick to make, but quite striking and simple.
I agree with that, and a bit of a modern twist actually.
Yeah, just adding a little bit of a modern twist to the pearls. If you decided you wanted to be all traditional again, just take the drop off and just have a pearl choker. So really, it just, you know, it's what you want to do. But it's such a lovely 3 gemstones that whatever you do is going to work, isn't it? Really,
it really is. And realistically, I think anywhere else you would be lucky to pay $21.95 for even the small pearls. The small pearls.
Yeah, you would.
Let alone the huge pearls and a strand of agate. I just think they're a wonderful colour palette together, aren't they?
That's the thing, because of the texture as well. You've got the classic with the pearls, but you've got 2 beautiful coordinating colours, and then you've got this striking agate, and to get them all 3 together, you can just go traditional. You could just use your pearls if you wanted to do and use your agate for something else. You know, it could be just a marvellous stash builder, but I really like putting them together. I thought they really worked. The colours are just gorgeous. It's one of those where the strands are doing the work for you. You don't have to think about it too much. Pretty much whatever you want to do with that is going to work.
When you think of pearls, what do they make you think of? Because I think pearls are quite an emotive piece, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Pearls for me are very Breakfast at Tiffany's, very classic, but I like pearls because you can really bring them into now. And if you don't like your now designs, you can just, you know, when you're finished, just cut up and make something else again.
It's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? It really is
gorgeous.
Exceptional. I really adore what you've done with these pieces too. Your little cluster.
Just a little cluster again, you know, you just put them on your wire or your head pins and hang them. You know, you could do a couple on the end of a shorter length of chain for earrings, and it makes them go longer. You know, a bit of a longer way by doing it that way.
Yeah, it's wonderful, isn't it? We have had such a day of it today. Thank you all for joining us. It's been spectacular. Highlights of the day. What was your highlight piece or goodie or newbie or thing that we sold today?
The new stamps, and being really, really happy when I stamped with them and they were as good as I was hoping they'd be.
Yeah.
And they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it ticked all the boxes as far as how clever they were and what they thought of. Proofs in the pudding. And we stamped with them and they did what they're supposed to do.
Do we have any of those left? We do. In the Arial font.
Okay.
Ooh, okay, in the uppercase. Have we got an example of that for anyone who's just tuned in now? No, we don't. I've got, well then, use your imagination. It was our new uppercase that we had. There's 10 left apparently. It's not those, Pete, sorry mate. But if you did see them, or maybe you thought you'd missed out on them, we've got 10 left, that's it. They're our new jewellery maker stamps that came in the cases, but you used them and you genuinely did adore them.
Well, you saw my face. I hadn't used them before. You don't know. First time using them on live telly, you might go, oh, but they were good. They did what they're supposed to do. So I was really impressed with that. The price was amazing.
It is a stunner, isn't it? And that indentation, it was nice, crisp and clean.
You can read it, and that's what you want a stamp to do. You want it to make a good indentation. That's what it did.
Yeah, you really, really do. Thank you very, very much for joining us today. When are you with us next?
Tuesday morning show, and then next Sunday designer inspiration.
And what are you doing on Tuesday morning show?
Friendly plastic.
Oh, you friendly plastic?
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, I love friendly plastic. I'm excited.
Oh, that's exciting. Have you made your pieces?
No, because I only got them yesterday.
Okay.
But they'll be made. They'll be done.
They will be
They'll
made.
be done. Don't
Wonderful.
worry.
I am back with you on Wednesday. And who have we got on Wednesday, did you say? I don't know. Linda we have got on Wednesday, so join us there. Coming up now, it is the late show and the beer quartz is amazing. See you soon.
Bye.
If you miss a Jewellery Maker show, then simply go to our YouTube page where you'll be able to find hours of Jewellery Maker footage. Search by show, date or type. Alternatively, search by guest designer by using our playlist page. You can also find hours of